Why is that?
I don't know.
The LA Afternoon Drive takeover.
He likes to lay the wood.
Yeah.
You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year. Ha-ha.
Christopher can go to hell. Oh, nothing worse than the horse.
Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like, how do you say his name? Asminger?
Asminger. Hey, these Hard Knocks guys, they're all over me right now. It's like I'm in back of Dayton. You are a bit killer.
Because you got to talk about sperm?
Here we go.
You don't know. You don't know. And you know why you don't know? Because you're gutless, Andy. You're gutless.
Yeah. Sedano Kap.
God, I'm going to melt you.
Ba-da-boop.
Do-da-da-bop. Beam-ba-da-bop. Ba-da-bop. Pick-a-doom-da-da-bop. Dig-dig-dig-dig-doom-da-da-bop.
You ready, Captain?
I think so.
What do you think so?
I mean, it's Friday, dude, you know? It's Friday. I get to Friday, and all I'm thinking about is get me and everybody else to 6 o'clock, and let's get out into this weekend. Because, George, this weekend in particular, tonight to start things off, Lakers, Nets, then tomorrow, back-to-back NFL games, Sunday, same deal, Monday, national championship game. What a couple of days we got.
And we got Sasaki here now.
Yeah, but we all knew that was happening.
I mean, did you?
Yes, for sure.
I mean, we knew your gutty little Padres were out
absolutely.
this morning.
Well,
Yeah.
but they were never in.
Well, no, they were. They were in the final three.
Oh, whatever.
And then the Blue Jays, who Greg Bergman, who is here now, our Sasaki expert, denounced the other day, like, Toronto.
It wasn't going to happen. They tried all they
were
could.
the final two.
They were in the final two, and they tried. They even made a trade so they can get an extra $3 million.
I get it, but you summarily dismiss them. You completely dismiss them.
I do too. I summarily dismiss everybody other than the Dodgers. And listen,
you're right.
I'm not a 23-year-old Japanese baseball superstar, although I know I get confused like I am one a lot.
Oh, sure.
But I will just say this. Like, if I'm him, I want to go play with Ohtani. And I want to go play with Yamamoto. And I want to go play with a team that wins the division every year and just won the World Series. And for all my Padre fans out there, everybody who told me that the Padres were getting Sasaki because he idolizes Yu Darvish and they played together on the World Baseball Classic team.
It put him in the final three.
You know what?
It's a nice little consolation prize for the gutty little Padres.
You say that, George, but you know what? I mean, the word and the rumor has been all along that this deal with the Dodgers was done and that everybody else was just kind of playing for second place. What good is second place? And here's the thing. Today on the Cappy Cast, I can tell you this. That the Padre fans it's like, season's over. I'm like, wait, did you think, A, that you were getting him, which a lot of them did, and B, if you did, what's he going to do? Come in here at 23 years old in his first year in the major leagues and lead your team to the World Series? Are you that desperate? Really?
Yeah, they are.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you would know best. I mean, you're down there all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, what do you I mean, you kind of answered your own question, I feel.
And I called this earlier in the week. I said, just wait until Friday, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. That's when this news will break.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
It's just for you, Cappy. They knew you were going to be on as the biggest Padres fan here and wanted to make it on your show.
But by the way, Dwight Gooden led the Mets to the World Series by 21 years old. So,
well, unlike everybody
Yamamoto
else,
was great this year.
Yeah.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs. In the playoffs, right. Because, I mean, don't forget, he was out for a long time. Unlike everybody else who thought that he was coming to their team other than the Dodgers, I never for a second believed that he was going anywhere other than the Dodgers. So for everybody, whether you're a Blue Jays fan or a Padres fan that's heartbroken, that's only because you're naive.
Right. Well, what are we getting here, Greg?
We're getting a very young, very raw pitcher still, but he throws over 100 miles an hour. He has a great fastball, obviously, a splitter as well. He has
500 strikeouts, I see. Yeah.
Right, over 500 strikeouts. He's going to be – they were saying a couple of weeks ago when they were talking about him on, I think it was MLB Network, he could be the best pitcher in the game in the next couple of years.
Wow.
That's how highly that he is thought of.
Yes.
And he actually left Japan early so he could – and signed this minor league contract so he could be here now, like Ohtani did.
And the scouting report was – and I say scouting report. It's he might be the best pitcher that Japan has ever produced.
Yes.
And, listen, that's high praise considering what has come from Japan, as good as these guys are. So, again, for me, not a surprise. It was a matter of when, not if. But that's just me.
And
What can I tell you?
it's the way that it was always going to be. We were talking about it when you guys were doing your two-a-days, that the Dodgers have been going after Sasaki for quite a long time. They've been scouting him longer than anybody, so easily 5 years. And now look at him now, 23 years old, coming to the Dodgers, coming at a very cheap price. They're only spending international money, not like Yamamoto, $325 million. This is a guy that just wants to play with a team that has a chance to win and show what he can do. And he doesn't have to have any pressure on him whatsoever.
No, not at all. I mean, they've got an all-star team there, basically.
Right. No, he can come in and he can intern. I mean, seriously, he can, right? Like, hey, you come over here.
Essentially is.
Right. On rare occasions, we may ask you to actually do something for us, you know?
Right.
Yeah, the Dodgers are best equipped. They're doing this six-man rotation thing, and he will fit perfectly into a six-man rotation. And if
By
he
the
doesn't
way,
do well,
I've
send
got
him to the
MLB
minors.
Network on right now. They had like some Twins guy on. Like, where's the Sasaki stuff? You know what I mean?
on.
Come on.
MLB Network.
Come
Well,
on,
now
come
it's on
on.
commercial.
Oh,
you know?
all right. Hey, real quick, speaking of the Dodgers. So I know that our social team has done a great job today of taking you to Dodger Stadium when most people can't get there. But Dodger Stadium was a place where people who were impacted by the fires could come and get stuff, including, I'm sure that you saw Kobe Bryant's family there handing out Kobe sneakers to everybody, and Dodger players showing up. And it's really an amazing thing what's going on in our community right now, George. And I want to just give you one other little note. Victory Automotive Group and our friends at Ocean Subaru in Fullerton are donating. This is unbelievable. They're donating vehicles to 30 families impacted by the Eaton fire in just the last week and change. The families, George, they lost their homes, they lost their cars, they lost their possessions all in the fire, and they're going to receive the gift of transportation as part of Victory's ongoing commitment to support those in need during this time of crisis. If it's happening tomorrow, and it is, it's happening at Ocean Subaru with Jeffrey Capo, founder of Victory Automotive Group, and community leaders from the Women's Club of Fullerton. My God, what a beautiful gesture. I mean, handing out sneakers, fantastic. Handing out food and water, incredible. Folks who don't all of a sudden have transportation, 30 families will have cars. Compliments of Victory Automotive and our friends down at Ocean Subaru in Fullerton. I mean, come on, man. Just people are stepping up in such a beautiful way.
It's awesome, Cappy. Yeah, no doubt, man. And kudos to them for sure with everything that's going on and still going on. So, Cappy, coming up next, we will continue celebrating Sasaki, okay? So celebrating Sasaki, we have our Sasaki expert, Greg Bergman, in the house today.
Dressed all up. You see him? You see what he's wearing?
I saw him, yeah.
I got the sweatshirt. I got the hat. It was the perfect day.
So we'll get into that. We'll get into the Rams this weekend, get into the Lakers tonight. There's all sorts of stuff. Mike Trudell is supposed to stop by at some point. He's there. Look at that.
Yes.
So let's get True on the air. True, how are you?
Hi.
Hey now.
Hello there.
Hello. Hi there.
Got any Sasaki takes?
Well, I was just going to sit out this segment, let you guys catch up. I know you miss each other. You're not there in person, but I've got a lot of Sasaki takes out there.
Oh, come on now.
Really?
There you
Been
go.
doing some research?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Mike is always the most prepared person in the room, bro. Who are you talking to?
A little bit. Little Sasaki research. A little bit.
Yeah. So Sasaki takes from Trudell, Rams, Lakers, all that stuff coming up. Stick around, 710 ESPN. But first, Cappy, let's talk Prize Picks here. All right, Prize Picks, the only place to get sports action in the state of California. You can win up to 1,000 times your money. And by the way, when you win that money, you can get in as quick as 15 minutes, man. It's very simple. It's a stat line for a particular player in an individual sport or a team sport for that matter. And it's as simple as going more or less. That's what you're picking. It's really that simple, Cap.
So people wait every day for us to get on the air for me to send out my Prize Picks. So, George, today, a 4-pick power play. It's $20 to win $200. You want to criticize or critique or lend feedback? You ready to go?
Go.
Here's my picks. Damian Lillard tonight, more than 23.5 points. Trey Murphy III, going deep, George. More than 29 points, rebounds, and assists. Anthony Edwards, the Ant-Man, more than 26.5 points. And Anthony Davis tonight, more than 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. $20 play to win $200. So I would highly encourage everybody, download the Prize Picks app, use our code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y, and let's all win some money together.
Yeah, it's very simple. Again, you heard Cappy. You get a $50 bonus with your first $5 play by downloading that app. Use the promo code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Still throwing it down.
Backdoor cut to LeBron and a thunder dunk. Beautiful pass, and LeBron slams it home.
Guess who's back? Still hitting big shot after big shot.
Three-pointer. Good again! Who is this guy? That's the oldest player in the league?
Live every thrill of LeBron and the Lake Show on 710 ESPN.
Still running the game, still.
Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and there's extensive water damage. This is when it can feel as though your relationship with your insurance has become an abusive one. They don't agree that you need a replacement living arrangement, despite it being glaringly obvious. Then, the insurance adjuster leaves you hanging. You feel abandoned with a home that is no longer livable, and you now have no other choice than to use the insurance contractor to make repairs, which includes their brazen attempt at lowballing the estimate. Okay, so here's what you do. You take a deep breath, then you call Avner Gat. They're one of California's largest public adjusting firms, and trust me, size does matter in this case because Avner Gat has experienced it all. Insurance companies can make you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope in getting your home back together. Avner Gat knows exactly how to handle these situations. Not only do they have extensive knowledge on how to handle your dilemma, but they remain passionate about helping people. It's why Avner and his family continue to take the calls themselves at Avner Gat Inc. They cover all of Southern California, and if I haven't convinced you with all of these truth bombs thus far, just check out what seems to be a never-ending stream of 5-star reviews on Yelp, Google, and the Better Business Bureau. So, whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is at home, call Avner Gat today. 818-917-5256. That's 818-917-5256. And you can go online to avnergat.com.
McDonald's and its local Southern California owners and operators are teaming up to help those impacted by the LA fires. The McRig, a full-size tractor trailer with a nearly complete McDonald's kitchen and McDonald's snack trucks, will be stationed across the valley to provide warm meals to first responders, evacuees, and families affected by the fires. First responders, please visit the McDonald's McRig today through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Rose Bowl main parking lot.
NextGen is the official plumbing, heating, and AC company of SoCal sports fans. Right now, ESPN LA listeners can book a drain cleaning for just $88. That's right, just $88, and you can keep your plumbing in top shape and ensure you're game day ready. So don't miss out. Call 833-3-NEXTGEN today to take advantage of this limited time offer. That's 833-3-NEXGEN or visit nextgenaironplumbing.com to schedule your $88 drain cleaning appointment today.
NEXGEN, call 833-3-NEXTGEN.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Now here's an important message from my friend, Jacob Amrani.
Wildfires can leave lasting scars on our families, our homes, our communities, and our peace of mind. Navigating the recovery process is hard, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Jacob Amrani, and my team and I are here to help ensure you're treated fairly and get the resources you need. Call us for a free consultation and let us help you rebuild with confidence.
Call Jacob.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Really? Oh, my B.
Yeah. My B.
Your B.
On 710 ESPN.
Down with the king, Cappy. You come at the king, you best not miss.
I just put my crown on just like LeBron does.
Okay.
Those
True, you
watching
should
on
do
YouTube
that next
understand.
time he walks off the interview. You should crown yourself after doing another great interview with him.
Yeah, if I ask just the best question that I've ever asked, maybe I'll just drop the mic and do the crown on my head.
Or no.
LeBron, what'd you think of that question? Boom!
No, don't drop it, Mike. Don't drop it. Do this. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, LeBron, will you hold the mic for a second? And then you have him hold the mic, and then you crown yourself right in front of him.
That's the move right there.
You know?
Yeah. That would definitely go viral. Not necessarily in the best ways for me. Some people would probably appreciate it, but I don't know if everybody would. It would be about the execution. You know,
I think LeBron would love it. I mean, the way LeBron told George, "Hey, nice shoes," he would say to you, "Hey, nice moves."
Right.
Well, I mean, the reason he said that to George is because they were LeBron shoes. You know,
They
so
were.
Now I'd be doing a LeBron move, which I like, but I Will Ferrell. I heard him on the Heights, whatever, the Kelsey Brothers podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said it's all about how committed you are to the bit. So I would really have to be into it. I would have to have a huge, like the way that I lifted my arms would have to be so dramatic, and then maybe I could get some chalk also to toss like while I was doing it somehow.
Now, I do remember you did go viral in a video. It ended up on Kimmel when like Carlos Boozer and
Swaggy
Jeremy
P.
Lin and all those guys in that terrible season when Kobe
Nick
was
Young,
hurt.
Jordan Hill,
we're all like, like loving life because you guys won a game, and then Kobe's on Kimmel and he looks miserable at the reaction of those guys. That you were on Jimmy Kimmel there, Trudell.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I was trying to shrink away because I was like, well, this is funny, but also not great.
Kind of
so
embarrassing.
you can kind of see it on my face. I'm like,
you were like laughing uncomfortably.
Yeah,
in that
exactly.
scenario.
Laughing uncomfortably. But I will say that like Nick Young, one of my favorite players that I have ever covered, legitimately fun, legitimately nice. Everybody loved being around him. So he was the one that sort of sold that. He made it impossible to smile. Well, I mean, I don't know that D'Lo liked him.
Well, you know what? He liked him so much that he outed him. Yeah. How about that?
that's not. We don't know the
Allegedly.
facts.
Oh
We don't know
my
the
goodness!
facts.
Come on.
What, Cappy?
Come on.
I'm not going to convict somebody when I don't know exactly.
That's
what
true. You
happened.
don't know the facts. That's
Right,
true,
but for George to even say something like that, I mean, and for you to then say, well, we don't know. I mean,
Well,
that's
what?
usually
Cabby-
me. I'm usually the one who says stuff, and then George is always the one who's like, wait a second, hold on. we don't
Hold
know.
on, Cappy. Have you ever been a member of a jury?
A jury?
Yeah.
No, sir. I've never been a member of a jury.
Thanks for doing your public service. First of all,
what's up with that, Cap? Come on.
Secondly, if you
Well, wait a
if you
second,
were
you
on a
guys?
jury, several. If you were on a jury, is that what you'd say? You just kind of go with, oh yeah, that's what I heard. So sure, let's go with that.
Well, yeah, that's what I heard in trial. That's what I heard them say. I heard them say that in trial.
And I figured it was an easy way to mention that D'Lo's back in town, although it doesn't look like he's going to play, right? Is that the case?
I
Do
don't
we
know,
that?
dude. I went
No,
on
I
Prize
think
Picks today to play him. I wanted to.
I think he's going to
figured-
play.
I figured, hey, listen, if D'Lo's here, he's going to want to play his best game so he could stick it to everybody. Not that I think he can or will.
He's going to play. Trust me, he's going to play. He's going to play, and he's going to try to play well.
Well, somebody better put him on
I
Prize
saw
Picks.
McMiniman post. Do we have that audio? McMiniman had. I sent it in the group text to Greg. Here's just some of what D'Lo said.
It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm excited to be on this side, attacking those guys. And obviously, a lot of my friends over there, so it's going to be a different film. But excited to see the game.
When it comes to the next side of things, we didn't play the other night, but just what's been kind of the overall message coming off that Clippers game of how you guys can move forward and kind of have that short-term memory loss?
Yeah, exactly. That short-term memory loss. Obviously, that's not who we are. We are display. So just coming out trying to respond and get away.
As a guy who was a Laker not once but twice. Now that you got here and you kind of got a look at what's going on here with these fires, just how differently did that hit you specifically?
It's pretty sad. Obviously, the world is some stuff happens you can't really control. So knowing how blessed we are, and knowing we can't take life for granted, be gone just like that, and prayers to everybody who's involved.
How would you kind of?
I can't
Whoa,
understand
that was
a
the
word he's
question.
saying.
Wait, that was the one he was going to say where he moved. He's ready to move on.
Yeah, ready to move on. I think from the whole situation.
Probably should have edited that earlier.
I can't understand a word he said.
He's been cleared to play though. Yeah,
Okay.
for the night. So Brooklyn stinks. Obviously, they lost 9 of 11. They're not necessarily trying to win, but they are 2-2 when D'Lo plays. Just for the record, D'Lo can kind of stabilize a group. So,
but they don't want to win.
D'Lo's going to want to win tonight, and the players want to win, right? I think just that when you put,
No, I'm saying the organization though.
the organization doesn't, but they've been playing hard. That's what I'll say all year. And if you you play a team, even if the organization is not trying to win and they're playing hard and you don't, we've seen what happened before. So
yeah, that Clipper game though was an abomination.
Yeah, D'Lo didn't play in that one, but yes, they were they lost by 60 or whatever.
D'Lo, one of Trudell's children from back in the day. All those kids that were drafted, Cappy, I labeled them all Trudell's children.
Yeah, and this was an unfair label. Again, now Cappy was being unfair earlier in this segment. Now we're over to Sedano doing it.
See,
so
but this is the thing. Like I do what Cappy does to me, I've always done to you. Like
that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? Like I do this to George, and George covers for my mistakes,
right?
Or at least covers for my outrageous commentary that doesn't have facts behind it. He covers for me. Yeah. And now here he is kind of putting it on you, and you're having to cover for him. It just doesn't feel right.
I don't know about cover.
Well,
how do you think I feel?
How do you think I feel, Cappy?
Well, I'm sure. I mean, you're being like pushed into the corner.
That's why you hear a lot of the things that I say start with well.
Think about that for a quick second here.
I can't see either of you right now.
I can see you.
What are you wearing, Cappy?
Oh wow! Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Mike. I'm surprised. I thought you usually come in like all suited and booted and ready for the game.
I don't have a link, by the way. No one's sent me like a YouTube link.
I decided to leave my shirt and tie and jacket in the car. So
really?
I will put but I do have my pants on.
Will you change in the parking lot?
Good. I'll change in kind of like in my car in the underbelly of Crypto.com arena.
I feel you. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
By the way, so what's your Sasaki take? Your hot Sasaki take?
When you say hot Sasaki, is that a joke?
No, he has a hot take, and it's a hot Sasaki take.
So, I mean, it sounds good. I think that as you know, I am somebody that moved here in 2008, and the Dodgers are very closely aligned with the Lakers, and my kids were born here, so I've embraced the Dodgers. Plus, Spectrum Sports, and of course, has the Dodgers too. So I've become a Dodger fan in the NL. My team, if they played the Twins in the World Series, I would have to stick with the team of my childhood in Kirby Puckett. But the point I'm trying to make is, so yes, I do want the Dodgers to win every year in every game. But the embarrassment of riches, and if I weren't rooting for the Dodgers, I would just be like,
You'd be so mad.
Are you kidding me?
Right, never stops.
Now they're adding somebody that could be the next best great guy. They've already got 8 of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was hurt last year on the pitching staff. They still won the World Series. So it's just and they're, the whole deferral of payments. I could see why they would be hated, and yet so many of the players are hard to hate, like Mookie Betts, for example.
Yeah,
so
Freddie Freeman, you got to love these guys.
I could kind of feel Cappy just kind of punching himself in the face when he hears the additional players that they're signing.
No, here's why, Mike.
That. Can you do that on YouTube? Punch yourself in the face?
But Mike, you know why I don't do that? Mike, you know what? You want to know why I don't punch myself in the face, and you know why I'm not upset at all?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because this is what I expected.
Mm.
See, like for me, I know that there's an entire fan base of people out there. I'll use the Padre fans as an example that actually talk themselves into believing that the Padres, in this case, could be the Blue Jays for that matter. In this case, the Padre fans tried to talk themselves into believing that they were going to get Sasaki. And I kept saying to them, guys, you have the former owner who died, his widow is suing the former owner who died's brothers. Now there's this whole thing going back and forth between the widow and the brothers. So besides the fact that the Dodgers are a better franchise, they win more, they've got bigger stars, they play in the bigger market, they play in front of more people,
better
they play on national TV more, et cetera, et cetera. Every reason is go to the Dodgers. And the only reason people could ever give me that he was not going to go to the Dodgers was because Yu Darvish was what he called his godfather. I'm like, if you think that's the reason he's going to choose the Padres over the Dodgers, you're delusional. So I'm not surprised and I'm not upset. It's exactly what I expected to happen.
George,
hey, how about we rack Cappy?
Yeah, rack me.
If you could pull the George, but let's say you pulled the Padres out of this, I'm just saying, as a fan of any other team, when the rich get this much richer, that's what I'm saying. Like that has to be
the Dodgers,
could make you mad.
And we talked about this, Cappy and I, when they won the World Series. I said the Dodgers are going to become kind of what like the late 90s, early 2000s Yankees were, where they just, they added Roger Clemens after winning a World Series and added like David Wells, right? Like they started adding guys, who were just like already stars, right? And it's like, that's what's happening. Now the Dodgers are doing it with guys in their prime. Like Clemens and Wells were, I guess maybe towards the ends of their primes in those eras.
Closer to Peyton and Malone, at least in some degree.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is like legit, to your point, like a different situation because it's just they're right smack dab in the middle, or in some cases, like Sasaki hasn't even reached.
And what's the regular season games? Is it like 111, Greg? 112? The
record
yeah.
is the Seattle Mariners. So I believe it's 111.
Was it 116 or 117?
I thought it was one here.
No, it might have been. Hold on.
Hold on. While you guys are researching, let me tell you something, Michael. To your point about the rich getting richer and how people around the country who are fans of other teams will hate the Dodgers for this.
116.
Let me just say this. When the World Series was over and George and I were discussing what the Dodgers are going to do next, here's what I said. I want the Dodgers to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez, and what I don't want them to do is sign Juan Soto. And George's like, why? Why would you not want Juan Soto? Because I don't want the Dodgers to have every guy. They have 9 out of 10 guys.
Instead
they can't have every guy.
Yeah, it's got all the arms instead, Cappy.
Yeah, I didn't want him to have Juan Soto.
Well, they don't need them. They got all the arms. Now they're going to be a pitching and defense team.
Right.
Who also happens to rake.
They're not going to do a 6-man rotation in the starting rotation. It's going to be a 12-man rotation.
Oh my goodness! It's just that's why I asked what the record. And so when you're coming off of a World Series win, you're not usually trying to win the most regular season games next year. They're not going to be able to lose games. Like
they couldn't lose games this past year.
There's no way.
They had so many guys hurt this past year, and they still couldn't lose.
Well, the beginning of the season was a little rough. We're a little worried the first month or so, and then after that, it was like, oh, okay, they're fine.
I mean, this team, if they look, baseball is also different from basketball, where you don't necessarily have to like try harder to win in baseball. Like it's not like you're gonna go up there and take a half-ass swing. Whereas in basketball, maybe you don't have as much energy as the other team. Like in baseball, everybody still wants to hit. They're still thinking about their average. The pitchers still want to keep their ERA down. So like just by that, the talent. I mean, what's the over/under going to be for this team?
That'll be interesting. What's going to be the Pacoda rating there, Bergman?
It'll be 151 for sure. 151 and 11. They might have to lose a game or two.
And by the way, guys, that doesn't mean that Greg isn't going to freak out if they're like 2-3 or something.
No, this is the same guy. This is the same guy. You freak out. This is the same guy that said Walker Buehler should never start another game.
Okay, well, if you want to go into that was when he was absolutely horrendous, and he was losing games that were in the middle of a race where you're down by, he was only up by 3 on the Padres, and you're playing the Padres. You shouldn't go into those situations.
All I'm saying is that you're emotional. That's all. That's all
you do get emotional. The Dodgers is the one team that really does that.
Yeah, well, UCLA basketball too. But
right. So then, Greg, why are you pushing back on my suggestion that you're going to still find a way to get anxious?
At 2 and 3, no, I can't do that anymore.
Okay, so how about let's say
it's like if they're win 115 games and lose, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, well, that's a different thing. But I'm talking about I just don't like how they're playing. When they're 20 games.
Look, man, I'm gonna be doing the Blue Review every single day, 5 days a week. I have to make something.
Oh, the Blue Review has been renewed.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
wow, look at that!
Always
congratulations.
We should put out a press release for that. What are you talking about?
No, it's always renewed. It's
in fact, today you should put out the press
LAX.
Release. Yeah, put out the press release today.
As a matter of fact, right? Like when does spring training start? In like 4
pitchers and
weeks?
catchers are going to report here soon.
Late February. Yep.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Let's go. The Blue Review. I need it from when pitchers and catchers report.
Yes. No. It's beginning of the season.
Well, we just did a little mini.
You're not gonna do any spring training Blue Review?
No spring training.
Don't you need to stretch your arm out, or in this case, your vocal cords?
Parker Bell is gonna be doing. He's saying he's gonna do a spring training Blue Review.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Way to go, Parker.
Yeah.
Let
Parker's all right. I don't understand the mustache he's got, but other than that, he's a great guy.
That's the look now. That's the look nowadays.
It is a look. I will admit it. It is a look. I'm not saying it's a good look. I'm just saying it's a look.
Yeah. Hey, Cappy, real quick, you mentioned earlier about how much help still needs to be done here in the Southern California area. If you're able, please help people affected by the California wildfires. Donate at the Red Cross, redcross.org/ESPN to help those in need and help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. That's redcross.org/ESPN. Hey, real quick also, Cappy, so we've done some Sasaki. Let's get into some of the football, too. Get Mike's Lakers takes, too. We got a lot of stuff to come up still here in the show. We got a full show. Mike's going to hang out with us here for a while. I will just, since we already destroyed the clock already, I'm going to just tell people about my friends at LAX, where changes are arriving daily, by the way, to reduce traffic, save travelers' time, and transform the traveler experience. The LAX economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding. Who the heck doesn't want to get to their flight faster? And a new facility for when your friends and family come to visit will have all major rental car brands under one roof. And in the future, if you're local, you don't even need a car to get to LAX. You got the People Mover train. It'll connect travelers to LA Metro. Yep, you can take the Metro to the Metro station right there on Century, just outside the airport, and then the People Mover train will connect you right to your terminal. For more information, go to their website. It's flylax.com, so check it out at flylax.com for more info. That's flylax.com.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Monday morning at 9 a.m. after Greeny.
I don't think I've told you. I used to be in a bowling league.
You can bowl too.
I a little bit. No,
Okay.
I'm not a good bowler, but I'm not a terrible
You're
bowler.
like 9 feet tall. Though.
Yeah.
How do you get down there?
I was okay. I was in the bowling league when I was in my 20s, so this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I have my own ball. Okay?
Nice.
Okay. And I'm okay, or at least I used to be okay. We go bowling. It's me and my 3 children, my wife, and Bobby's girlfriend, Sarah. Okay? So there's 6 of us. And we got the 3 women on one lane, and we got the 3 boys on the second lane. We're right next to each other. So they're competing, we're competing. Bobby won 2 of the 3 in the men's division.
He beat you.
And Michael won the other one.
You got smoked?
I got skunked, DeMarco.
Well done, Dad.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN.
Hey, everybody, it's Cappy here. Hey, if you've been thinking about selling your home, the real estate market is changing right now. So before you call an agent, let's get you to call Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage is focused on the seller's needs and will make you a competitive cash offer, and you can close in days. They're the go-to choice for homeowners looking to sell their homes fast. No agents, no commissions. Getting your home ready to list for sale can be expensive and very complicated, and you may not want people walking through your house all day long. Seller's Advantage makes the selling process so easy so that sellers walk away happy. They may even offer you a $10,000 advance to help with all your moving expenses. So get a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-2747. Or you can go to sellersadvantage.com. That's sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Get more of the NFL with NFL Plus and start streaming more touchdowns, more hurdles, more action. Just a tremendous play. NFL Plus has you covered. Stream the NFL postseason and Super Bowl 56 live on mobile.
Touchdown!
Plus, stay connected throughout the offseason with special coverage of the NFL Scouting Combine, NFL Draft, and more.
Let's go! Yeah!
Subscribe today at plus.nfl.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Silmar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys.
Bergman, Brian Cohen.
Do you guys still get that Friday feeling that you got when you were leaving class as a young school?
Oh yeah,
boy,
I love
George
Friday.
and
Yeah. I even Thursday night I love still because it's like, oh, it's Friday tomorrow.
Wow.
Thank
See,
God.
I don't have that feeling.
Well, you're
about
also on
Friday.
the road a ton, and like you don't even know what day it is, what city you're in. I bet you.
Do you think the NBA schedule has basically taken away the Friday
Yes, your
feeling
Friday
for me?
joy. Yes, no question about it. But because I still do this radio show, I think of like, oh, Friday. Like Friday is a thing to still think about because it's the end of the week because I do this 5 days a week.
Oh, I see. So it's more of like it translates to a real 9 to 5.
Right. No, if you have a Monday through Friday job, you look forward to Friday. If you have the kind of job you have, Michael, where you're on a Sunday and it doesn't matter, and you're into the NBA season, it doesn't matter. Monday, Friday, Sunday, it doesn't matter.
It could
It's
all be
the
the same
day.
thing. It doesn't matter. How many times, Michael, have you walked, you've gotten into your hotel and forgotten what number your room is?
It happens, not a ton, honestly, because usually, like our key card is in an envelope, and on the envelope,
No. I'm talking about you've gone out to dinner already, and you've come back, and you're at this place, and you went out for whatever reason.
Yeah, it'll happen. I'd say more like on the longer trips, maybe on the fourth hotel of the fourth city during that trip. Then I might have to take a screenshot of my hotel room number.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I do.
Or
man.
I'll text our travel guy Daniel, who's the best. And
what room am I in again,
bro? And
Living that hotel life. I went downstairs at the East Central, and I'm like, hey guys, my key's not working, and they're like, well, what room? And I'm like, 442. And they're like, yeah, but you're staying in room like 621, And I'm like, oh, man, sorry, my bad. I guess last week I was in 442. It happens to me all the damn time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
You're home away from home.
That's right, the East Central. That's exactly right. Hey, George, real quick side note here.
Yeah.
I want to just say to everybody who's listening, if you or a loved one or a close friend is dealing with fire damage, know that despite your diligent insurance payments, the insurance company may fall short when it comes time to file a claim. Do not let them underpay you. That's why you call Avner Gat, California's premier public adjusting firm, avnergat.com, or you can call Avner directly, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. Avner Gat, your claim, our game.
There you go, Cap.
That was pretty dramatic, too, the way I said that.
I would agree, yeah.
Your claim, our game.
Excellent work.
Is anybody monitoring your guys' talk time today?
Not today, no.
Okay. I'll just keep a loose tally.
George won yesterday.
Did I?
Time of possession, George won.
Wow.
I mean, you hope that's the case.
It was
It
131.
rarely is,
It was 131 to 129 yesterday. He just barely got me.
I'm full of crap. But anyway, let's do the football in the next segment. Because we only have like 3 minutes here. But all right, Mike, let me ask you this: Dorian Finney-Smith not playing tonight, correct?
Correct.
I feel like in a very short amount of time, he's been very impactful. What have you noticed from his time on this roster?
He's just a good player, and he's a good connective player where he does stuff that it may not be the points and the rebounds and the steals, but he, instead of taking the ball and spending 2 seconds looking around to where to go with it, he will just move it on quickly and then cut to the hoop or clear the side, like on offense. Then on defense, he can switch out to the perimeter. He can switch onto a 5. Like, he's just a good connective basketball player. If you had him in a pickup run, you would be like, I want that guy on my team, and he's tough. So he's good. Now, I will say that the team actually was 2-4 in the 6 games that he played. Now, he was about the top of the team in plus minus,
right?
But I think they're still figuring out the optimal lineups and rotations. And to me, the bigger factor even than Finney-Smith is that they went back to using a 2 big group at times in the second half against Miami, which they had gone away from during when they went back to doing some switching. And that schematic change with J.J. Redick kind of recognizing that it would be better for the team, I think that fits as well once Finney-Smith comes back. So he's good, George. It was a good move, and they have to kind of keep up with the rotations around him.
All right, question. Hold on. Now, he's not playing tonight because it's listed as personal. Right? Now, am I to understand that he is having a child? Is he having a baby? Is that the deal? Is that the story?
Yeah. Yes. That is the story. Yeah. I haven't heard official details of what it is and time and all that, but I think that's the case.
The only reason I ask is because you think about when a guy gets traded. I mean, how long has he been with the Lakers? 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So think about it. It's like, hey, we're trading you. Dude, I'm having like a baby in 2 weeks. Kind of not the best timing in the world, And I don't really know if, where the baby's being born. Does he have to leave, go somewhere else? I mean, does she come to L.A.? I have no idea. I mean, this is just kind of, I'm asking you guys because I figured you guys would know. But that's what I had been hearing, that the reason he's out is the birth of a child.
Michael, do you have anything on Baby Watch?
So I just don't know. Yeah, we know. I just don't know if he has wanted to share, right?
Oh,
what the
so there you go,
is.
Cappy.
Put it this way. Let me tell you this. Let me just say this.
He put it on his
Instagram. If I know, then everybody knows.
Oh, he did. Okay, so he put it on his Instagram.
He did put it on his Instagram. He says, "Baby boy is here."
Yeah,
and it's in quotes, "Baby Cinco."
That's right.
Baby Cinco.
And now, obviously, his partner, couldn't travel to L.A. when once the trade
she was
went
way
down,
too pregnant,
which is why he's not here, right? So I assume that he'll be back in the next couple days or so. But tonight is a good game for him to not to need to rush back for. First of all, it's the team that traded him here on the one hand, but then I think the Lakers will have enough in terms of depth to play against.
Yeah,
this Brooklyn team.
I think they'll be okay. Trudell's in the house. Cappy, is here, of course. Gregory Arthur Bergman, Brian Cohen in today. Sedano and Cap. All right, 1 hour down, 2 more to go. Let's get into the Rams. Let's get into the playoffs next.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland back Monday at 1. Why don't we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Right now, get our Value Bowl combo for only $8.99. Waba Grill, it's for you.
Hi, my name is Victoria. I am from Somar, California, and I just want to say thank you to all the firefighters for everything that you've done. You are so brave, so just amazing and brave, and we appreciate everything you've done for the city.
You know, I want to thank them. You know, without them, the fire wouldn't be the way it is right now. You know, little help like you guys asked for. You know, I got a few bobbleheads, a few jerseys, a few shirts that are brand new, and some baseball cards.
Thank you so much for the first responders and for the firefighters that are helping the community and the people of California and especially Los Angeles. And thank you so much for your work and keep doing what you're doing. You guys are the real heroes.
My name's Alfredo Famath and I'm from Selmar, right next to the Hearst fire. We got evacuated, but I really want to thank the firefighters for saving my house and my friends' houses. You know, I appreciate you guys, and without you guys, I don't know where to be at, you know, probably without a home, but I really appreciate everything you guys do for us.
What's up, everybody? Cappy here, InsideCrypto.com, and I just want to take a second to thank all the first responders, the firefighters, but I'm going to take another direction here. I was talking about it on the air. Our friends at Lazy Dog and LA Live have been feeding all these firefighters. I'm going to send a shout out to all the wait staff who are feeding the firefighters, who can then feel good, be nourished, go to sleep, and then get out there and fight those fires. So to everybody that's helping, appreciate all y'all.
Hey, Henry Ramos here from El Monte. Hey, first responders, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and keep fighting on. And this is for Los Angeles. Thank you guys, and keep going. We love you, LA.
ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Cap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is being brought to us by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. BC is in for DeAndre. Gregory Arthur Bergman in for LB. Trudell hanging out. Sedano in the house.
Beto's here, too.
Beto Duran?
What's up, Beto? I mean, he's about to get in front of a mic, but there he is.
All right.
Yeah.
He's trying to get me on the pregame show to do so. Apparently, Ireland has prepared a pop culture quiz for me.
Yeah. Oh, during the pregame show? I thought that was going to happen during their show.
No, it's during the pregame show. He's all excited for it, and it's like 10 questions because Trudell doesn't know anything after 1982.
So I took this quiz.
No, before 1982.
I took this quiz, Mike, and I did terribly. So
Okay.
I don't have high hopes for you.
Yeah, so that'll be at 6:40
It was hard.
today.
It was hard.
I mean, I assume that it's hard. It's not like John is trying to do something that makes his point go the other way.
Right.
In my favor.
Some things are completely just weird.
Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned for when I prepare a quiz for John and Michael about actual things that are current. John will do better than Michael, but that's the flip side.
All right, well, we do have what you need to know, Sedano, right?
Yeah, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times. That's the 90 minutes from wherever you are. And what you need to know today, what's that?
I've heard that.
Oh, thanks. What you need to know today is that 19-year-old learner Tien.
Perfect.
What you need to know today is 19-year-old learner Tien from Irvine had a huge upset at the Australian Open. So, young man, he's an Irvinian from Southern California. He beat Daniil Medvedev, Cappy, who's one of the top 5 players in the world, in the, I believe, third round of the Australian Open. Just like a huge, huge deal. I mean, this is a guy who was, most people thought could make the final and has been a multiple-time Grand Slam champion. And the young guy from Southern California, Lerner Tien, went in there, took care of business.
Yeah, and I loved it after the match. He goes to the post-game press conference, and he's got this box of pizza. And they're like, I guess that must be like his thing that he eats pizza after each match. And they asked him about the pizza, and he said, this could be like soaking my depression pizza because I just lost, or it could be celebration pizza, which it is. So good for the kid. He had celebration pie rather than depression pie.
Yeah, and one season at USC for him too, Cappy.
Right.
19 years old. I said it to my son. I'm like, what are you doing with your life?
Oh.
Well, come on.
No, I get it.
Come
Beto,
on.
I did the same thing to my kid all the time. When I'd see a kid who was like 22 who was already excelling in pro sports, I'd be like, yo, what's your problem?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Did your son tell you to shut up? Or
No, because he went over 3. So let's go. Knock down some shots. I'm paying all this money.
Yeah, really.
Beto is paying money.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Hi, guys. I'm just hanging out. I'm just charging my
No, you be part of it, all right?
Okay. My thing, Sedano, is I want George to be the guy who officiates Cappy's next wedding. That's what I want. So I've been going.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, I've been going to the Cappy cast and telling everybody in the Cappy cast I just pop in real quick that Cappy needs to marry Shio Seidler and he needs to take over the Padres.
Oh my God, Cappy, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Cappy brought this up when we did our show together when George was enduring the Minnesota frigid winter.
So every day I go in the Cappy cast and I just type in Team Seidler, Cappy needs to marry Shield, and then or Shield, whatever her name is, and then the show's gonna be keeping up with the Cappies.
Well, so that's Seidler's now widowed wife, is what you're saying.
Yes, the widow wife. Yeah,
right.
Because in her bio it says single.
Right, but you have to understand that I was close to Peter for a time, and I loved Peter very much. And I just don't know that he would
love him enough to take care of his wife.
Take care of the bride. Come on,
I can't
Cappy's
take
not
care.
Single, Beto, isn't this disrespectful to his
that's
wife?
that's also true, Michael.
First of all, he hasn't signed the contract, so he's single.
He's not single.
Technically, Cappy is single. I mean, he's dating.
He's not married.
Yeah. If you have a girlfriend, you're not single.
Right,
but I mean, he can marry Shield and he can run the Padres.
But
Come
Michael,
on.
6 years of a relationship, does that make me like some sort of legally married in some way in California?
I think it's 10 years. No.
I don't even think they do in California anymore.
I don't think you're legally married unless you're legally married.
Yeah.
But
all right.
The point remains, I'm trying to be sensitive to her feelings here.
That's really sweet
I
of you.
want Cappy to run the Padres.
Cappy, that would be fun.
I mean, it's not like they're going to be the Dodgers, even if he does. So.
No, but at least maybe I would have had a better chance of getting Sasaki.
No,
right.
No
you imagine
chance.
Cappy in the Sasaki meeting?
No, because here would have been the phone call. You'd been like, oh, hey, bro, you're just going to the Dodgers anyway. Why are we even talking?
I know you're going to the Dodgers. Why are you wasting my time? Why are you wasting my time, bro?
He just sensed the negativity and
no
like, the
way.
inevitability.
Cappy's such a good schmoozer. He would schmooze up to Sasaki.
Oh, yeah.
I certainly would
what
try.
was the name of the young kids you who was it that you took?
Oh, the
Did you
FaZe
take a
Clan?
The FaZe
FaZe Clan. Right. The gamers.
Hold on.
You're right. You absolutely you could have shown them the picture of you and the FaZe Clan. I feel like that would have resonated.
Can you
with
role
Sasaki.
play for a second, George? Can you be Sasaki and Cappy, you be the owner of the Padres? Real quick?
Go.
Okay, go Cappy.
My dog.
We're off to a good start.
See, hey, Mike. See how I communicate to the young guys?
We're doing well so far.
He's 23. He knows.
Right, my dog. You got to come to San Diego, man. You don't want to go to L.A. L.A.'s tough. It's a tough environment. The media's all over you. The expectations are super high. Come down here. Nobody expects you to win. Just easy lifestyle. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm a competitor. Why would I want to go somewhere if no one expects us to win? I want to win.
Right, I understand. But there, you're just joining a bunch of winners. Here, you can lead to be a bunch of winners.
You can lead to be a bunch of winners.
Right.
Sasaki?
You can be a leader rather than a follower.
Right,
you can be the guy rather than a guy.
You know what? I think I'm going to fire my agent for getting me this meeting.
But my dog.
Hold on a second. You Darvish is coming in. He'll save everything.
You should bring you to the meeting right away.
Beto, would you be persuaded?
You know what
He's doing
Cappy
a
would be?
Costanza. Do the opposite. It's
Right.
gonna work.
Cappy's like when they brought Kobe to that Dwight Howard meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember that? Yeah.
He hated Dwight. Because Dwight would eat McDonald's in the locker room at like 6 o'clock. Kobe would walk by and have that face like, what are you doing here?
I mean, Kobe did eat McDonald's early in his career.
Yeah, he was
a lot,
19.
But yes, back when he was 19.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen that CNN show?
I have not. I thought it
Kobe?
comes out. I thought it comes out next week.
Oh, it does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a bunch of commercials for it because, I've gotten some I wanted to see like what the national coverage looks like of the fires. And so I've seen a little bit of CNN. I hadn't seen any CNN since last year pre-election. And yeah, now there's this commercial running for this Kobe, I guess, like doc.
It's like a documentary
that they've got. Yeah, which I'm curious to see.
Yeah. All right, Cappy, I'm curious to see what the hell happens this weekend with the Rams, okay? So I love. I know people are like, oh, I don't know why he did this. Jared Verse saying he hates the Eagle fans, good. Because you know what? Even if he didn't say it, they were going to boo them mercilessly. They were going to give him all sorts of crap on the sideline. So at least now he's kind of put the target on himself. I actually like it. And I'm not surprised. You and I got a chance to talk to him. In college, he was a big talker. When you and I talked to him, you could tell right away he was going to be he was going to continue to be a great talker and a big personality. I love it. I think he could be one of the best pass rushers in the league down the road. Excuse me, but I love that he's put this bullseye on him and let the Eagle fans take it out on him. And then if the Rams all of a sudden can focus on kind of the details and let him eat it up, I'm in on all that.
Well, look, I mean, I told you this earlier in the week. I had to go back and do some film study, George. Very Ron Jaworski-esque. I had to go back and study the film. And the film says that when the Rams got beat by the Eagles in Week 12, 37-20, which was a 37-14 game until Cooper Kupp scored a touchdown in garbage time. I mean, it was a complete blowout. And look, you cannot in this game expect to win if Saquon Barkley rushes for 150 yards. Now, in the last game, he rushed for 255 yards, but 2 of those carries equaled about 140 yards. If Saquon Barkley runs for 150 or more yards, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think the Rams are going to win. But here's what I do think is going to happen. I'll make a crazy, outlandish prediction for you. You ready? Kyren Williams will have more yards rushing in this game than Saquon Barkley will.
I mean, look, I think for the Rams to win, it's going to have to be that's a prediction that probably will have to come true.
It has to for this reason. Because when the Eagles look back at the film of the first game and they look back at last week what happened against Minnesota, what they're going to know much better than the rest of us is how great Matthew Stafford was against the blitz.
Yeah.
So Stafford against the blitz was like 14 of 18, nearly 200 yards, couple of scores, and if you're Philadelphia, you actually don't really need to blitz, okay? Because your defensive front gets to the quarterback enough, which, by the way, they did against the Rams earlier this season. They sacked Matthew Stafford 5 times, not to mention they probably hit him another 6 or 7 times, and they even caused a fumble and forced him to run a few times. The running game of the Rams has to be at its very best this weekend for the Rams to win the game. I think Kyren Williams is going to be set up to have a big game. And I guess the flip side of all of that is that the Rams' defensive line, which was humiliated against the Philadelphia Eagles, they got to make whatever adjustments their coaching staff can come up with to try and slow Saquon Barkley down.
For sure, 100%. And I think that that's up to obviously Chris Shula and the staff, and I think that they'll come up with a better game plan. Obviously. How much do you think the weather factors in? Because there's a lot of this stuff out there about Matthew Stafford is 1-8 in rain and snow, and he only completes 54% of his passes. And here's what I would say: there's probably not a lot of guys who don't play outdoors regularly in their career or in cold weather. And he did not. He played in a dome in Detroit that have great records in those conditions. Like if you don't play in those conditions regularly, chances are you don't have a great record. So this, these numbers that are out there, 1-8, 54% completion percentage, 14 touchdowns, 11 picks, a 76 passer rating. I just feel like, okay, yeah, I'm guessing a lot of guys don't have great numbers in those scenarios.
If I could offer this, though, George, that the problem with that, so let's say some of that was when he was in Detroit and they were a lower seed. Yeah, right. but they were a lower seed and they were going to a tough place to play. Well, that's the case again here. Like the Rams are better, but they are going as the underdog, and it is a tough team that he's playing against. So the conditions are a little bit closer to what he would have experienced in those prior games. No.
Yeah. Well, listen. I mean,
right, but he didn't have the best coach in the league, arguably.
No, but you also Detroit. You played you played your home games in Detroit in a dome. You played at Minnesota, which was a dome. Division-wise, Chicago and Green Bay were outdoors. And if you found those games later in the season, a guy who plays indoors in perfect conditions could struggle outdoors. George, don't you remember many years ago when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers broke through and won the Super Bowl? There was all this data that said that any time the weather was like under 35 degrees, they were like 1 in 20. My numbers are off, but I'm just telling you that their winning percentage in cold weather was really low. The question you asked is this: how much will the weather impact the Rams? And in my opinion, it will have a great impact on the Rams. Because when you play here and you practice here and you can't simulate the cold, I find it to be a very hard thing to do. Then again, I'm kind of a wuss, okay? I mean, let's just face it, right? I mean, I can't handle the cold weather. It gets to 50 degrees in L.A., I'm freezing my ass off,
you couldn't kick in the cold weather?
Mike, I struggled.
Oh, no.
Michael, I struggled. Oh, yeah, struggled. Big time.
Wow.
Big time.
Oh,
Matter of fact, I'll tell you guys that when I was in training camp with the Chicago Bears, I actually thought I was going to make the team, and I thought I was going to win the job. And all I kept thinking in the back of my head was, I will be exposed by the time November rolls around.
And I can't believe you didn't make the team with that kind of positive attitude.
Get him, Trev. Get him.
I mean, Cappy, that's a loser mindset, man.
Oh, listen, there's no doubt. I was like, I can't play here. I cannot play here in this wind, in this cold, on this natural surface. Probably so. Now, on the other hand, Michael, when I was with the San Diego Chargers, I was like, oh, I got this all day, every day. I'm good here.
Right, but the problem is you ran into John Carney there.
Right. When I was in Chicago, I ran into Kevin Butler. That was another problem.
We say that John Carney has a big leg. Did he literally have a big leg? Like, was his quadricep twice as big as yours?
No. In fact, mine was twice as big as his.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he just had...
You had bigger quadzillas than him?
More quadzillas, more hamsters, the whole thing.
So what was his magic power then?
Experience.
Okay.
Experience.
Was confidence in the cold?
Yeah, right. He was a Florida guy who could handle the cold, unlike me.
Cap was like, listen, Coach, there are a couple road games this year that I'm going to need to just go ahead and stay home in. Okay?
Yeah, well, no.
Can the punter kick in when we play at the Bears or the Eagles?
Or can I have proper sweatpants over my pants? Can I have a heater by me on the sideline? Something like that. Yeah, I'm a wuss. And I just think this. Listen, if you're Jared Verse, you grew up in New Jersey, you played most of your college career in Albany, you played in the cold weather. Many of these guys have played in the cold weather.
Yeah, before he went to Florida State in the transfer portal, he played at Albany.
SUNY Albany? Yeah, my parents met at SUNY Albany. How about
that? Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's exciting. Okay, my new favorite defensive player.
What's the name of their mascot? What are they? The Albany...
It's not the
what
Golden
are they?
Griffins,
the Great
is
Danes.
It?
The Great Danes.
Oh, what a name.
The Great Danes.
Yeah, that's a nice dog. Yeah.
All right, Cappy, coming up next, we can get a little further into this about the Eagles. And I actually think there's something the Eagles can be a little weary of. We'll get into that in just a moment. But first, tell us about your friends at Real Father's Rights.
I would love to. I have been open and candid about my divorce and all the stuff that comes after a divorce, all the financial related issues and so on. I'm not afraid to talk about that. I'm an open book, and the main reason why I'm willing to talk about it is because I know that when I was struggling with everything that was going on, being embarrassed about getting divorced, being worried about money, what's going to happen to my kids, I had other friends that were telling me, "Hey, dude, calm down, breathe, life will get better," and that's what I'm here to tell you guys. Calm down, breathe, life will get better, especially if you call Mark Real at Real Father's Rights. He's an expert in dealing with the men's side of divorce and family court so that you get the happiness you deserve and you get the justice you deserve. Mark Real and his team at Real Father's Rights, we're here to help you. Here's a phone number. It's 323-870-1611, 323-870-1611, Real, R-E-E-L, realfathersrights.com/710. Real Father's Rights. Let's get real with Mark Real, the Father's Rights attorneys.
Whether you need a big stop late in the game.
Edwards downloaded DiVincenzo. Blocked by Davis again. Another block for Anthony Davis. Here's Reeves. Lay it up and in.
A 3-ball from downtown.
Davis for 3. Good! Anthony Davis!
or a power slam in the paint.
LeBron down the middle. Alley-oop! AD for the dunk.
AD is doing it all this season.
We're going to empower him as much as he wants to be empowered. If he wants to be first team All-NBA and he wants to be in the MVP conversation all year long, we're going to empower him to do that.
You know, for me, I'm just trying to be aggressive and do what I have to do to help the team win. You know, Jay want me to be the hub, and, you know, but my job remains the same, to come out and be aggressive and let the team feed off of that.
LeBron's got it. Full head of steam. LeBron to AD. Slam dunk.
Catch every thrill from AD in the Lake Show this season.
Right here on 710 ESPN.
NextGen is the official plumbing, heating, and AC company of SoCal sports fans. For just $14.99 a month, enjoy year-round coverage.
With the devastating fires that have struck Southern California, there are options for you if you're dealing with food insecurity. It is the LA Regional Food Bank. You can go to lafoodbank.org/fire. We are also looking for collections from you. All kinds of stuff needed for people that are dealing with the fire right now. Please join us in helping our friends and neighbors who are dealing with this tragedy.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Right now, get our value bowl combo for only $8.99. Waba Grill, it's for you.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Walks around like a little puppy dog.
On 710 ESPN.
This is a song we used to play for you, Cappy, back in the day. When Pepe would always call you a liar.
I haven't lied in a long time.
Yeah, right. You're lying right now.
You think that's a lie?
Yeah, for sure. I could tell you're lying.
I mean, we all lie, you know.
Because then you're replying. Stutter, stutter.
Tell you one thing I'm not lying about. Our partners at Victory Automotive Group and our friends at Ocean Subaru in Fullerton donating vehicles to 30 families impacted by the fires.
Awesome stuff.
So it is amazing. The families, you got to imagine this. You're a family, you lost your home, you lost your car or cars, you lost every possession you had in the fire, and now you're getting the gift of transportation as part of Victory's ongoing commitment to support those in need during these times of crisis. It is happening tomorrow at Ocean Subaru in Fullerton. What a great dealership. What a beautiful place. Jeffrey Cappo will be there. He's the founder of Victory Automotive Group. And the community leaders from the Women's Club of Fullerton will all be there. 30 families will be getting the gift of transportation from our partners at Victory Automotive and Ocean Subaru. Mazel tov to you guys. What a mitzvah you're doing.
Yeah, awesome, man. Thank you, Cappy, for letting us know about that. And certainly thanks to them for their help and assistance here during this really difficult time, obviously, in the community. We were talking about the Rams, and you know, there's a lot of chatter online, right? Like, Eagle fans are like internet mad right now. Like, I spent a lot of time on Twitter today just kind of like looking up like Eagles media, like, you know, like the sports radio guys and all that. And they're all like sitting there basically saying, and I told you the other day, like LaShawn McCoy out there saying that the Rams are going to get blown out. So like anyone associated with the Eagles kind of like big mad that the Rams keep getting this quote unquote sneaky label. They're going to knock them off. And this, and it's funny because the more I watched, I didn't get the sense that there's a lot of people actually picking the Rams. Like when I look around, like I was watching a lot of TV today. Okay, I was home, I was flipping around, I was watching all these talk shows, and I'm like, I don't really see very many people saying the Rams are going to win this game. So I don't get why Eagle fans are like this mad. I wish DeAndre was here today for this because I'd love to have the conversation with him about it. Because he's probably more in tune with it. Not that I don't love you, Brian, but I'm just saying in this particular case, I would have loved DeAndre's perspective on it. But it is funny, Cappy. Like Eagle fans are legit like angry at whatever coverage the Rams are getting, and I'm like, bro, the Rams are good. They got a Super Bowl winning coach and a Super Bowl quarterback. Like what do you expect people to not at least give them a puncher's chance?
Cappy, they just beat the best team in the league, the Minnesota Vikings, the awesome Minnesota Vikings. The Rams just destroyed them.
Wow. Well, I mean, there were only two teams that beat your Minnesota Vikings this year. We know the Lions and the Rams.
And the Lions.
That's
Yeah.
it. You know, George, you could have stopped at, I don't understand why the Eagle fans are so angry.
They suck.
Because they're the angriest, most dangerous fan base. I know It's weird. I know Dodger fans have a reputation nationally. Okay, fine. But I'm telling you right now, Eagle fans are purely dangerous. George, you and I share a friend. I won't say names on the air, but let me tell you. I was telling Bergie this the other day. This buddy of mine and his mom and dad drove from New York to Philadelphia for an Eagles-Giants game back in the old, what was the name? Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
So these guys show up, and they got on their jerseys, their Phil Simms jerseys, right? They got on their Parcells T-shirts back in the day, and they show up with their car, and it's got Giants flags on the car, and they park in the parking lot, right? So they go into the game, they're sitting there, and the Eagle fans are going off on them, and all of a sudden, the mother realizes that somebody has poured what she thought was a beer on top of her head. The only problem is the yellow substance was warm.
Oh, no.
You feel me? So on the top of Naomi's, here's little Naomi. She's sitting there at the game, and some guy decides to pour what was a beer but turned into something else on top of her head. They wind up leaving the game. They go out to the parking lot. The car has been flipped over, and it's on its roof.
Oh, my goodness.
But Eagle fans, for whatever reason, are nuts. And I got a whole bunch of buddies of mine that are all from my college days, and we're all on a group text, and they're all making their plans for the Super Bowl. And I keep telling these guys, fellas, if I were you, I'd pump the brakes because I don't think you're getting past this round. I think if you give Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford another shot after getting destroyed the way they were in Week 12 at home, I feel like the Rams are going there to win this game.
Listen, I give them at least a puncher's chance. Like the Eagles have the better offensive line. They have the better defensive front. They win the lines of scrimmage, even though the Rams' lines of scrimmage have played much better as of late and as the season has gone on. The Eagles have a better groups there. And that's generally this time of year in that kind of weather what wins the game. But I do think that Sean McVay at the core, like if you go back to Sean McVay at the core here in his early stages, everyone thinks of like passing the ball and all this and that. They ran a lot with Todd Gurley. And they run a lot with Kyron Williams, to your point yesterday. Like, I do think this will end up being more of a slugfest, whereas last week we saw, what was it, Stafford started like 10 of 10 or 11 of 11 or whatever. I think Matthew will get his opportunities, but I think this thing is going to be a fist fight or a rock fight, at least early on, or at least that's what they're going to try to do.
Yeah, and listen, here's the reality. Everything is going against the Rams. You had to travel last week to Arizona when you were supposed to have a home game, and you had to come back. Now you have a shorter week. Now you got to schlep all the way across the country. When you get to Philadelphia, not only are you going to be dealing with an extremely hostile environment, but you're also going to be dealing with, cold temperatures, and the snow's supposed to start 30 minutes before the game. So you're dealing with a team that on paper is better, had a better record, beat you at your house, and I mean beat you down. Now you're going all the way across the country, short week, again, environment and weather. And here's one other thing that's going against the Rams.
Tell me.
Everything that happened in the last 10 days.
All
the fires, all the displacement, all the emotion, everything that's going on. These guys, for all we know, could be running on fumes. And if they wind up getting beat down, you might look at that and go, hey, they just kind of ran out of juice. But I think the opposite will happen. I actually think this Rams team will be, A, inspired, and B, like you heard McVay after the game when he's making his rounds around the locker room, and some of the guys are saying, put the city on our back. I think they know how much they mean to the city right now and how much the city needs it.
And he also was going to tell DeAndre to shove it, remember?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
But he wasn't here for that. Yeah. I mean, Michael, listen, adjudicate, if you will, since you've been a juror. You ready?
Yeah. That's true. I've committed my civic duty.
Yeah. Am I nuts here, or am I making a compelling case?
Well, you're not nuts. Vegas has it as them as 6-point dogs. Like it's not expected to be a blowout. To me, the issue is more Philly just has even if they don't play great, they play a conservative style. So they're not they're basically minimizing risk. They don't turn the ball over a lot. They can always do their Jalen Hurts puts his head down and gets the yard or the 2 yards.
Oh, that tush push.
Saquon can at any time bust one, as he did. That was the reason, of course, they crushed the Rams last time, right? He ran for 255 yards. And if you completely sell out to try and stop Barkley, then they've got these 2 ridiculous weapons on the outside that can bust a normal play all the way to the end zone. So to me, it's clearly been a winning formula. What do they won, 10 games in a row or something? And going into their building, the weather, I just think it's an uphill battle. But would anybody be shocked if Sean McVay has them super well prepared and the Eagles melt down a little bit? I think I'm certainly rooting for it. I can't stand Eagles fans.
I think the meltdown factor is a thing. I also think Kellen Moore
much this year.
I also think Kellen Moore interviewing for the job for the Cowboys is not like a small part of this either, because when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, there was a lot of Eagle fans who were not thrilled that both their coordinators were interviewing at that particular time as they're getting ready for the Super Bowl. So you had Gannon going to the Cardinals and you had Steichen go to the Colts, and that kind of hurt them, I thought, in that game against Kansas City. And I could see that being something that hurts them here.
You don't buy that, do you, George?
Oh, I do.
You can walk and chew gum. I mean, you literally do
yes
4
and no,
different
man,
jobs.
But that sounds hard.
Come on. If you're you're doing play-by-play for an NCAA game in the weekend, then you're doing your radio show on Monday. You can't tell me that you can figure out a way to be fully prepped for both.
For
sure, professional.
Yes.
These guys are professionals.
But it doesn't mean you're going to be 100% as effective as you would be for both.
I don't think that's a fair tag, especially because it's basically a Zoom meeting, right? They're not flying into the city. That's the advantage of somebody like Mike Vrabel
Right, but you're getting prepared for that, and you've also you've worked for Jerry, so you're probably going into that. That's the biggest meeting of your life in that scenario. So there is a level of preparation.
I will just say this: if you're serious about getting a head coaching job in the NFL, you don't just show up like you're there for a job interview.
But if
you've had to create PowerPoints, you've had to work on your offensive slides. I mean,
you probably got all that stuff though, right? It's your resume right now, Cappy. It's updated. I don't know if you have your own laptop.
Cappy doesn't need a resume. He's just Cappy.
Yeah, I just show up and go, I'm here. I'm in the house.
Yeah. But so you're basically prepped for a thing like that in advance, and it's a good thing you have a week between games too in the NFL. It'd be one thing I think if an NBA team was like that.
Well, listen, Eagle fans they absolutely blame that stuff the last time around.
They needed to blame something,
jerks.
right?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Coming up next, we've got. Are we doing Radio Tinder?
We are.
Bergman?
Yeah, I got stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering. Okay. Yep. All right. So, Cappy, we're going to do Radio Tinder. Then after that, I want to get into this Raiders job because all of a sudden, Adam Schefter said something today on Pat McAfee that I was like, yeah, this makes more sense than Ben Johnson going to the Raiders. We'll get to that in a second. But first, tell us about your friends at Sellers Advantage.
Yeah. Hey, Sellers Advantage. Listen, right now, I guess I'm just going to try and say it as sensitively as I can. You can imagine there are going to be a lot of people in LA County that are looking for homes, and so there's just not that much inventory per se. So what I would suggest is if you are considering selling your home for whatever reason, and maybe part of your reason right now happens to be timing, not that you're being an opportunist, but more that you're trying to help other people, and maybe you're helping yourself at the same time, you should call Sellers Advantage, and they will make you a competitive cash offer on your house. And if you like that competitive cash offer, you leave, you sell. No complicated closing process, no contracts falling through, no people walking through your house. They just make it super easy for you, and they've got a ton of years of experience, which will lead to a lot of reviews that will tell you that they've made sellers happy for many years. Call them for that no obligation offer. 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747. Their website is sellersadvantage.com.
If you're able, please help people affected by the California wildfires in 2025. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN. redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover.
Insurance claim. Those two words used to instantly manifest a pit in my stomach. In fact, I get flashbacks of being lowballed and made to feel like a criminal. And of course, just being ignored. No insurance company is in a rush to fairly compensate clients, even though they unabashedly take our money every year. All of that's behind me now, and I'm never going back thanks to Avner Gat. Dealing with insurance companies is all they do. Avner Gat has one of the largest teams of professional licensed public insurance adjusters in California, and many of these people used to work for insurance companies. The team at Avner Gat knows exactly how to handle your claim. You also have some Avner Gat adjusters with experience in handling hazardous materials, where asbestos and lead testing was their profession. Some of them used to work at law firms handling bad faith claims. Trust me, they know how to deal with any insurance claim dispute. Avner Gat covers all of Southern California with a real passion for helping people, which becomes all the more obvious when you realize Avner and his family are still the ones answering the phones. So whatever unfortunate occurrence led you to the insurance claim and subsequent abusive relationship, being lowballed, ignored, judged, know that Avner has your back. And if somehow I still haven't convinced you, just check out what seems to be a never-ending stream of 5-star reviews on Yelp, Google, and the Better Business Bureau. Call today. 818-917-5256. That's 818-917-5256 and online at avnergat.com.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Our steamed vegetables and signature salads are made fresh for you. Our sauces are more flavorful for you. From sweet and spicy to fiery hot. Right now, get our Value Bowl combo for only $8.99. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, Hims can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill?
It's just better for you.
Right now, get our Value Bowl combo for only $8.99. Waba Grill, it's for you.
The Survivor theme song, which I just started watching, and it's fantastic. I don't know if any of you
Oh,
watch
really?
Survivor. I love it now.
Really?
It's so good. And really, I really think I could do well in this show.
Okay.
Really? I didn't know that there was a new season.
I think Cappy would be a better host than the host. I know everybody loves the host.
He's
Probst or
really
whatever.
good.
Who is the host? Who is the host? Oh, he's still the host? Jeff Probst?
Yep.
Really?
They're Jeff Probst. I've only watched like 2 episodes ever. When someone that I knew or like adjacently was on and got kicked off early, and I thought, wow, this host talks more than any host in any show that I've ever seen.
Well, he debuted in 2000.
Everyone seems to love him though.
Yo, he's really good, and he gets spicy too. Like he does a good job. Cappy, you would be good at this though.
Why, thank you. I would love to do it. So if Jeff Probst has had enough, 24 years.
Yeah.
I mean, let somebody else get in there.
I'll have Lindsay when she gets back talk to Jeff Probst. Have him come on the show and talk about it.
Okay, love that.
All right. So it was announced just about 15 minutes ago by Bob Nightingale that Sammy Sosa and Derek Lee are new Cubs Hall of Famers. Sammy was held out for a long time for not admitting to taking steroids and has recently admitted to mistakes made when playing. Not necessarily saying that he took steroids, but he made mistakes when he was playing. How do you feel about Sammy and the Cubs Hall of Fame, Sedano?
He should absolutely be in the Cubs Hall of Fame. Like we don't forget what he did. And by the way, I hate the litigation of that era of the sport
Right.
because
Same.
we only talk about the hitters for the most part, except for a few exceptions, like maybe like Roger Clemens or Eric Gagne or whatever,
Schilling.
allegedly. You know what I'm saying? But right, for the most part, we only talk about the hitting. And it's like the pitchers were doing it too. You know what I mean? So if anything, the playing field was fairly level, I would say. I hate all of it. I think they should all be in. It's part of the history of the sport. We saw those guys hit all those home runs, which, by the way, nobody was complaining about when Sosa and McGuire were saving the sport in 1998.
That's the whole key right there, is that when he says that he has to admit to some mistakes that he made, hey, Sammy, you didn't make any mistakes. You did what ball players were doing back then. Everybody knew the dirty little secret. Nobody wanted to report on it. Nobody wanted to out these guys because it was good for everybody's business. Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire, that home run chase in the summer of 98 or 99, that brought baseball back from the strike of 1994. So, yes, of course he should be in their Hall of Fame. Probably should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds should be in. I am not.
All of them.
I have no issue with any of the steroid guys getting in.
I don't like that take. I
Get
to
him,
me
Trudell.
saying
Get
everybody
him.
took
Get
steroids.
him.
No, everybody didn't, or we wouldn't just talk about some guys. If everybody does, everybody mean
No,
what, 20%,
Mike, we
30%?
talk about some guys because they were the highest profile guys for the most
wasn't-
part.
Yeah, but it wasn't everybody, and it was cheating. So it just was. I'm not saying they shouldn't be in the
Listen.
Hall of Fame, but like you should have to at least, at a bare minimum, acknowledge what you did and
So,
acknowledge that it helped
sure,
you be better than you were.
I'm
and
with you.
if you're too scared to tell the truth at this point, then get out. You
Well,
cheated.
listen, I will tell you this. So early in my career, I covered a lot of baseball. Okay, so years later, I have still found myself around plenty of guys that no longer play in Major League Baseball, but played baseball in that era, and in private moments, they'll tell you pretty much everybody was doing it. So that's why I have that position. But I will agree. I agree with you. Like, just say it. Put an asterisk on their plaques, and let's keep it moving. Because to just completely omit a 10-year span of baseball seems absurd to me.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also these baseball writers who get to vote on all this. You guys
Sanctimonious baseball writers.
You guys knew what was going on. You guys knew what
They
was happening.
definitely knew, no doubt.
How about you, Beto?
Beto, you know a lot about baseball. You know a lot.
And
of
Bud
former
Selig,
pros
by
that-
the way, the worst of them all.
Yeah.
He's sitting there championing McGuire and Sosa in '98, and when Bonds was breaking the record, the individual record, he was like sitting there, didn't know what to do, put his freaking hands in his pocket. Like, it was the weirdest, most awkward thing ever.
Yeah, how many guys do you talk to that were stuck in AAA because there was a dude who was 5'10", 185, just jacked, roided up, and those guys were the ones getting the contracts, right?
Dude.
So everybody was doing something. If they might not have been doing steroids, but they were doing something to get away with. Remember, and MLB would have those crazy cartoonists, like for the All-Star game where Sammy and Mark McGuire had the big old muscles. Like, they knew what was going on, man.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. Like, the problem that I think baseball had was that the guy who outed them was Jose Canseco, many years prior, okay?
Yeah.
And then that became the problem. But he was right. Look, he may not have been the perfect messenger, but he was right about all of it. Had they just addressed it head on and everybody would have just, like, handled it to Mike's point earlier and just dealt with it, then we wouldn't be in this situation. But nonetheless, it just seems ridiculous. It's kind of like, to me, like in college basketball, for example, or football or whatever, when they used to vacate titles. Like, I saw the Michigan basketball team win the Big Ten championship and get to a Final Four.
I saw
Like,
Reggie Bush win a Heisman Trophy.
Right. Like, come on, who cares? It's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
All right, want another one, or are you going to want to end it there?
Give us one more.
One
Yeah,
more.
give us
one
one more.
All right, one more. Okay, so
It was good takes, though, by everybody.
No, look at that. You should all get
Except
racked.
Mike Trudell.
Everybody gets racked.
No, I like Mike's take.
He
I
was
don't
on the
agree
other
with it, but it was a
side.
good
Right.
take.
Yeah, no, we
Good
don't
take,
like that
Trudell.
one.
Good take.
Mike is right.
Yeah.
Bad
So,
take.
all right, McDonald's has a new menu hack, first created in Australia, apparently. The hash brown McFlurry sandwich is now a thing, according to the Instagram account Mouth Attack.
A what? Hash brown McFlurry sandwich?
Hash brown McFlurry
Explain yourself,
sandwich.
Greg.
Wait,
It is
what
a
did you say?
salty and sweet combo.
Mouth
So it's a
attack?
hash brown, and you take the McFlurry, put it in between the two hash browns, and eat it like a sandwich. Are you in or you out on the
Okay,
hash
so
brown
you're
McFlurry
you're
sandwich?
you're getting the two hash browns
Yep.
at McDonald's.
Yep.
Then you're getting a McFlurry, and you're basically putting the McFlurry
Inside
on,
the
like,
hash browns.
inside the hash brown. You can't put the whole McFlurry. It's a big.
No, you
item.
just put it in there. If you
You
get
put some of it in there and eat it like an ice
Correct.
cream sandwich, except with a hash brown.
yes,
Not for me. I'm
sweet and
passing.
salty.
No.
I will say sweet and salty I'm good with. That's why I like a nice trail mix, Like I like a couple of almonds, a nice couple of peanuts, and then some M&Ms.
California almonds?
So I like and the raisins. I like the sweet, I like the salty, but hold on. One rule when it comes to dessert things. You ever get like a hot brownie after a dinner, and they put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top of it?
The cookie skillet.
Right.
The butter cake, baby, the butter cake.
Right, but then the next thing you know, it's all melted. All the ice cream is melted, and you're like, yo, can I get another scoop of ice cream over here? I don't like the hot with the cold. Okay, because then the ice cream all melts.
That's the whole point.
The hash brown isn't like that hot.
How do you know?
Well, what do you mean? I've never had a hash brown from McDonald's before. Everybody's had hash browns from McDonald's.
Yeah.
What I'll say, this reminds me of the. Well, first of all, it's totally unnecessary, totally superfluous. Like hash browns are fine on their own. You don't need to have something else added to the hash browns.
I would agree. Hash browns are delicious.
I'm always going to get a hash brown if I'm there and it's before a certain hour. But to me, this is like there's been this new move where you can get the hot donuts and then they put the ice cream like inside the hot donuts.
Yeah.
Now that tastes great, but
we had that at Media Day.
Yeah, they had it at Media Day, the Lakers Media Day. But it's not, it's not totally necessary. But at least those are both desserts. So you're already kind of onto the dessert. I don't know why you need to mix a dessert with a non-dessert. That to me just doesn't make sense.
Fair point, because you should really take the hash brown and you should put it on top of or within the sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin because there's not enough cholesterol.
Well, it also doesn't make it doesn't make we all look forward to dessert, right? George and Cappy, like what's going to be the dessert? Why do I want the hash brown doesn't make the dessert better? That's where I'm struggling to see why this is a thing.
No, I would agree.
Just a little flavor. That's
I
all.
would agree.
So we're not going to Mastro's for butter cake. I got it. Bunch of haters.
Yeah.
Well,
that is
so best dessert. Of course, we're getting
Radio Tinder brought to you by no one.
By what, George? By what?
By no one. It's like the Ernie. You don't watch Inside the NBA because that's what they do. EJ's Nito stat of the night.
You're not in the league, Cappy. You don't know that.
Nope, I'm out of the league.
Yeah, you mute that. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Cappy's asleep by then, bro.
Yeah, I don't really turn over to the post game.
Oh, that's the best part.
That's the best part.
When Trudell gets done with his interview, good night.
Oh no, but when you don't watch the TNT post game?
Not really. No.
Oh my God. Then to me, it's better than watching the game.
Well, then why don't they put it on like in the game?
I wouldn't say it's better than watching the game.
Split the screen.
Some nights, like last night, that Cleveland game was a disaster. I guess the second game was good, so there's that. But yeah, most nights it's better than the game. All right, Cappy, real quick. Coming up next, the Raiders. We talked about them yesterday. Adam Schefter may be pouring some cold water on this whole Ben Johnson thing. We'll explain in a second. But first, let me tell you about our guy, Jacob and Ronnie, okay? Listen, first of all, you get into any kind of accident, you call Jacob. You tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 sent you. 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. But our guy, Jacob and Ronnie, is very concerned about the impact these wildfires are having here in the Southland. The wildfires can leave lasting scars on our homes, our health, and certainly our communities. So if you've been injured or dealing with damage to your property, you don't have to face this horrific situation alone. Just call Jacob. Call him at 844-24-JACOB. Tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 sent you. When disaster strikes your recovery, it shouldn't be a fight. Let Jacob and his team do the fighting for you. Provide the representation you deserve while getting you what you're owed. Jacob and his team certainly have their thoughts and prayers out there with all of you that have been affected by these wildfires, either directly or through friends or loved ones, family, etc. So if you or someone you love or someone you know has been injured or suffered property damage due to these wildfires, call Jacob for a free case review. Call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Or visit him online at calljacob.com. Jacob and his team are here to help, and together we'll rebuild.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m. I'm going to get back on the horse. There you go. I'm going to do dry. I did it last year. I'm going to do it again this year.
Dry January.
Yeah.
Started January 1st. We're done.
January 2nd. I went to the Rose Bowl on January 1st. So you owe me a day. Okay. I got to get to February 1st. Yeah. I owe you one.
It's Trav and D-Far.
Back Monday morning after Greeny on LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
I'm Doug Hopkins.
And I'm Damon Lyons, and we want to buy your house.
If you're considering selling your home for any reason, let Seller's Advantage show you a better way to sell your home.
With no agent fees, no commissions, no hassles, and no repairs.
Just a fair cash offer that can close in just a few days. We don't just promise more, we deliver a much better customer experience.
Check out our Google reviews and see how.
Call Seller's Advantage or visit sellersadvantage.com for free, no-obligation cash offer.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
repairs yourself, or worry about whether or not buyers can qualify for new high interest rate loans, you need to call Seller's Advantage. Thousands of satisfied customers have already done this. They're the go-to choice for homeowners looking to sell their homes fast. Seller's Advantage will buy your home for a competitive cash offer and can close in just days. Not weeks, not months, days. No repairs are needed because they buy the home as is. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. It's no wonder why thousands of sellers have chosen Seller's Advantage. Seller's Advantage is the fastest and the most stress-free way to sell your home. If you're ready to sell now, call Seller's Advantage. Get a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hog Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hog Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hog Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hog. Learn more at HogOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got NewGenX Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of NewGenX Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of NewGenX Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text STREAK to 321-321. That's STREAK to 321-321.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
Really? You haven't? Oh, my B.
Yeah. My B.
Your B.
On 710 ESPN.
Cappy, you got 5 on it? We should play this when we do prize picks.
It's a great idea. In fact, Beto and I have been going back and forth in the breaks trying to decide how we're going to play D'Lo tonight against the Lakers.
I think you said he wasn't on there.
Well, he wasn't. But then, this was about 2 hours ago. There was no D'Lo, and now there is D'Lo. And I got to think that D'Lo wants to come out tonight against the Lakers and show him what he's all about. And on the other hand, I got to think the Lakers are going to be like, nah, not here tonight. We're not having it because I got 5 on it.
Well, there you go. We'll get to that again later, Cappy. We'll do a little prize picks later. But first, we've been talking about, obviously, all the devastation in the community. We've been talking about how people can give to the Red Cross, redcross.org/ESPN. But your friend Avner Gat is also trying to help people.
Yeah, I just want to say to everybody, look, I've been talking about Avner, fire damage, water damage, theft. I mean, for a long time, didn't know that it was going to turn into this, of course. So if you or a loved one or a friend, if you're facing fire damage, just know this, that despite the fact that you have paid all your homeowner's insurance payments on time, your homeowner's insurance company may fall short when it's time to file a claim. Do not let them underpay you. You let Avner Gat handle this. This is what he's all about. He is California's premier public adjuster, and he's got the top adjusting firm. Visit avnergat.com or call him directly. He'll answer the phone, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256, avnergat.com. Your claim, our game. Don't deal with this yourself. Let Avner handle things.
So, Cappy, I mentioned the Raiders earlier. So yesterday we spent a lot of time about Ben Johnson, and I was like, why would Ben Johnson want to take this job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they got no quarterback. The idea was that he gets to pick his own GM, and he's, Brady's going to let him do that or whatever because he's the next whiz kid or whatever that's going to be the guy who's going to be the great head coach or whatever. So I was like, all right, whatever, I guess, if this is going to be the case. But today I saw this clip of Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show. And it's one thing for, a bunch of schmucks like you and I to say, well, why the hell would he want this job? It's a little different when it's Adam Schefter, at least I believe, because of how plugged in he is, right? So here's what Adam said on the McAfee show about Ben Johnson to the Raiders.
Okay, so if you're going to be very picky, and again, I know that this Raiders freight train has gathered a whole lot of steam, and I don't want to slow it down because, by the way, I want to say for the record, it could happen. He could be the coach there. But I am not just convinced just yet that that's going to be the way it's going to be. When we're talking about picking situations, if you're picking the Raiders, you're telling me that Ben Johnson turned down the chance to go coach Jaden Daniels last year, turned that down so he could go to a place this year in Las Vegas without a top pick, without a quarterback that plays in a division with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, none to me.
Doesn't make sense to me unless because listen, the word on this guy Ben Johnson is that the reason he's been so picky is because he wants what the Rams have. He wants a coach and a general manager, Sean McVay, Les Snead. He wants a collaboration. Okay, he wants what they have in San Francisco, where John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are like BFFs.
Right.
He wants to have the relationship where he and the GM collaborate, but really it's the coach's team. The GM is there to support him, not the coach works for the GM. So he's either being super picky. I'm guessing it's because he makes enough money as the Lions offensive coordinator that he doesn't have to just go jump because money's not the issue for him. Thing is that I brought this up to you yesterday. When you look at this Lions roster and you look at this offense, they're awesome because of the talent they have.
Right.
The Raiders don't have that luxury.
No question about it. Now, you and I joke about how all the Raider fans, there's like Raider Ruben, right? There's Raider this, Raider that.
Oh, Raider Ruben. Should we shout out for? Does he have another birthday? Does he have another birthday he needs us to shout out?
So let's bring in Raider Greg here, and I am genuinely curious how Raider Berge here thinks about this, because it makes no sense why he would want this job.
Well, exactly what Cappy was saying. You get that connection between the GM. Now you get to completely rebuild this team how you see fit.
Right, but without a quarterback this year.
You can get a quarterback, and you can maybe he's somebody. You can get somebody in the second or third round.
They played themselves out of the first two
I know.
picks.
It was very frustrating. I don't want to get angry about that all over again.
Right, let the kids celebrate Sasaki today, you know?
I'm very happy about that. But when it comes to the Raiders, like they can actually build it. The defense is good. There was a lot of injuries on the defense this year. They have the pieces to be a good defense. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get a quarterback and you can let Ben Johnson build his system into there and rebuild that offensive line.
So you're going to go another year with Aiden O'Connell in a division with Herbert Mahomes and now Bo Nix?
I would like someone else. I'd like them to go
but
after
you're bringing up a good
Jackson
point, though.
Dart.
You could give Sam Darnold, like 2 years for $25 million or something.
No interest in Sam Darnold.
You're bringing up a good
he's
point,
better
though,
than Aiden
George.
O'Connell.
Slightly.
Yeah, but look, I mean,
he's better than Aiden O'Connell.
If you're Ben Johnson and you watched what Dan Campbell did, the Lions were not these Lions of the last 2 years, the first 2 years of Dan Campbell. So if you're Ben Johnson and you say to Mark Davis, hey, look, I need a long-term contract because you're going to be locked in on me, and you can't keep paying guys to fire guys. I will take the job, but it's going to require patience.
100%.
If you can create patience, great. Because you could say, well, look, I was part of what they did with the Lions, and look what they've become. So I think we can do the same thing here with the Raiders, because the Raiders are equally as sucky as the Lions were.
No, I get it. But my point is this so are you just going to you're going to waste another year? Like, it's always easy to say, yeah, we're going to tank, we're going to do this, we're going to that, we're going to have patience, and then something goes wrong.
It's
and
not
then
about
all of a sudden they don't have, on the whim of an owner, they don't have no more patience. By the way, Cappy, you should know your best friend just was the victim of that.
Oh, there's no doubt. But the difference is that if you're the Raiders and you're still paying John Gruden and you're still now going to be paying Antonio Pierce, and there's a list of guys that the Raiders are still paying to not coach their team, you have to at some point say, we're going to finally give somebody some time. And if I'm Ben Johnson, stadium, market, facilities, all the things that the Raiders have turned into that they weren't in Oakland, maybe they're an attractive team to go in and take over and build like the Lions were, because no one ever expected the Lions organizationally and historically to be where they are today.
I don't think you want to go in without a quarterback.
Agreed.
Well, Minnesota didn't have a quarterback. They had J.J.
Well, they drafted
McCarthy.
one, and he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt, but then you brought in Sam Darnold, and it worked out because you had a good offensive line. And you had
but
somebody
Kevin
to protect
O'Connell,
him.
when we hired him, he didn't have the steam that Ben Johnson has. He was
right,
kinda
everyone's
an
making Ben
up-and-coming
Johnson.
guy. Right. He had to take that job. He wasn't going to have his pick of any job.
That's right.
No, but
right.
Kevin
Ben
O'Connell
Johnson is
came in
being
hot.
made out to be some sort of franchise savior, and he's yet to coach a meaningful game in his life.
They're hoping that he's just like McVay. And by the way, Kevin O'Connell was next to McVay, so he was a hot commodity.
Not really, though.
Not relative to what Johnson is now.
Sure,
though.
Johnson is a much higher level.
And also, the Vikings were a pretty stable organization that's always pretty good. Like, never great, but always pretty good, always winning.
Correct.
The Raiders, not so much.
No, so now that you have this brain trust, apparently, where you're going to get whoever the GM happens to be, with Ben Johnson, with Tom Brady, you feel like they're going to build the team correctly.
Oh, that's
right now
another
it's not
story.
built
That's
together.
a whole other story. By the way, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
I read this article today in The Athletic about how everybody thinks that Tom Brady calling the game between this Detroit game against Washington, it's a conflict of interest because he's a small percentage owner of the Raiders. But
he's leading the charge on who the interview is.
So,
that's not a small thing.
But is it a conflict of interest?
Yes.
Okay, because here were the comparisons. The comparisons were if Kirk Herbstreit is calling the national championship game on Monday night with Ohio State in it, is that a conflict of interest? And the other comparison was
really because it's his alma mater. Like,
I understand.
He's not directly involved with the organization.
I get it. And the other comparison was, and this was a Fox executive making these comparisons, he said, was Joe Davis a conflict of interest in calling the World Series for Fox when he's the broadcaster of the Dodgers? I don't think it's a conflict of interest. I think there's a clear bias. But
I would say this. And how about this? Let's take a quick pause because I know we have to break. I will tell you what the biggest I'll give you the Joe Davis example and explain to you why that's a big difference.
And I'm going to say bye to you guys. It's nice talking to you.
All right,
done
see
with
you,
us?
Drew. Have a
Yeah,
good
I
show.
get over. I'll see
A
you.
good game. Yeah.
Later.
See you. All right, we'll be back in 2 minutes.
If you're able, please help people affected by the California wildfires in 2025. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN. redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover.
Driving my Lexus NX 250 feels like I've got a license to thrill and a permit for awesome. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
We're giving away a Lexus NX 250. Be here on the 31st at 10 p.m. for your chance to win a Lexus.
Number 2.
Get a rice cooker when you earn 500 points on your rewards card. The 21st.
And the number 1 reason.
Earthquake, live January 25th. Get tickets now.
Morongo, good times.
NextGen is the official plumbing, heating, and AC company of SoCal sports fans. That's right. NextGen is the absolute best in the biz with thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. Looking for an all-star deal on home comfort? Call NextGen. For just $14.99 a month, you'll score year-round coverage on all of your plumbing, heating, and AC needs. You heard it right. For just $14.99 a month, you'll experience coverage and comfort all season long. No unexpected timeouts, just total peace of mind. As a NextGen member, you'll enjoy complimentary multi-point inspections, cooling tune-ups, plumbing and safety inspections, and exclusive members-only savings. Plus, you'll have a VIP guaranteed 2-hour priority service appointment. Sign up today to become a NextGen VIP. Don't miss out. Call 833-3-NEXTGen. NextGen is the only name you need to remember for comfort and reliability all season long. That's 833-3-NEXTGen or visit nextgenaironplumbing.com.
NEXGEN, call 833-3-NEXTGen.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. and it's time for 30 minutes nonstop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing, thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney. Visit realfathersrights.com or call 951-482-7517. Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of nonstop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this?
And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
Yeah. Here we go, George. Last hour of the week.
Yeah. All right, let's finish that discussion we were just having because I do want to get into all the playoff games here, including the Rams' big matchup against Philly, which you can hear right here on 710 ESPN. Our pregame coverage begins at what time, Gregory? At 10?
At 10, correct.
Oh, okay, 10 a.m. So there you go. That'll be Travis and Kirk and DeMarco and the whole crew. So, real quick, we were talking about the Raiders and Ben Johnson, and why would he take this job? And, we were talking about, well, he gets to pick his own GM. He gets like the McVay, Shanahan kind of situation where there's a collab, as you like to say, Cappy.
Good word.
In that scenario. And then we got into the Brady aspect of this because Brady's very involved in the search. And you were asking, you read the story in The Athletic about whether it's a conflict of interest. And one of the examples, the first example you used was Herb Street. And I said, well, that's different. Herb Street in Ohio State, that's his alma mater. He doesn't even live in Columbus anymore. He lives in Nashville. And as a matter of fact, the Ohio State fans kind of like dislike him because he's been so critical at times of the program. So that's where I would move that one aside. Then you said that this particular, was it an anonymous Fox executive?
No, not anonymous. His name was connected to it. He was Fox executive. I don't remember his name. He's the president of Fox Sports, and he was saying...
nonetheless, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to whoever it was that you're referring to. Was it Eric Shanks?
No, I think the last name was like Zagar, something like
Zager?
that.
Yeah.
I don't know the gentleman.
Okay, either way. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I would just push back and say this. Respectfully, I would say that he said Joe Davis, right, because he was the Dodger broadcaster who did the World Series. Joe Davis is the employee of the Dodgers. He is not the owner of the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do think that those are subtle yet real differences.
I agree. I think that Tom Brady, though, look, he is not the owner of the Raiders. He is a tiny, tiny little investor.
No, it doesn't matter how tiny, my guy.
But but it's not about. But here's the difference. The difference is that whether Tom Brady owned 50% of the Raiders, 75% of the Raiders, or 2% of the Raiders. The difference is that, and by the way, I love that you called me my guy. Tom Brady is deeply involved in the coaching search.
Correct.
That's the difference.
Right, and he's calling the games of the guy that's going to be on the sideline. That's weird. That is, by definition, a conflict of interest.
However, he has been restricted, so he can't go into the Lions
He can't
facilities.
have access. I get it.
He can't go into all the production
So
meetings.
is he going to be critical of Ben Johnson if he makes an obvious mistake?
Perhaps. I don't know. I mean, perhaps. I guess we'll find out. And the other part of it is this.
What
happens if Ben Johnson doesn't take the job?
What I would say, if I were the the president of Fox Sports for a day, and I was doing that interview, I would say, well, it's not gonna stop Tom from being critical of a coaching candidate for his franchise if he deems it necessary. And if that's the answer, then I'm cool with it. Then it's no longer a conflict of interest. And if he actually does it, then there's definitely no conflict of interest. Now, it could cost him getting the guy he wants, but at the end of the day, he's at least showing that he can be objective. And I think that's what people are, quote unquote, objecting to, is there's this notion of, will he be objective considering he's chasing this guy that's on one of those sidelines?
Yeah, I feel
so
like...
I get it. I get it.
I feel like Brady has had like a really good first year. I know like week one, everybody was criticizing everything
I
that he
would
did.
say this. I think Tom Brady still has a lot of work to do as a broadcaster.
To be honest with you, George, I got to tell you, man, I mean, I've probably seen like, I don't know, 4 or 5 games that I can even remember where I'm like, oh, there's Brady. Okay, great. I just don't really remember him doing anything terrible. And I also don't really
the
remember
first
him
week,
doing
to your
anything
point,
memorable.
the first week was bad. We all agree with that the first week was bad. What I would say is, yes, he got better, but I still don't think he's at the level of the other number one guys at the other networks. He's not better than Collinsworth. He's not better than Aikman. He's not better than Romo. I don't know who else I'm missing. But nonetheless,
got him.
So
Olsen.
so what I'm saying, Olsen's the number 2. But honestly, he's not better than Olsen. If I'm being honest. But it doesn't mean he can't get there. They made a long-term investment in him, and that is what they're hoping, that he becomes as good as any of those guys that I mentioned, if not better. And maybe he will, because he is certainly someone who has had a ton of luck, of good fortune, good luck, and hard work that has paid off in a way that has allowed him to reach the pinnacle of the sports world. And he's put in all the work for that, and I would imagine he'll put in the work for this. However, as you know, not being involved in those meetings certainly doesn't help the broadcast, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually don't really see it as that big of a deal that he's not involved in those meetings.
Happy, I could not disagree more.
Well, but I mean, George, listen, I did those meetings for 20 years, and there were plenty of times where Kevin Harlan was coming in from somewhere else, and Kevin couldn't be in those meetings. And the next night, we all sat around.
But not for a playoff game, Cappy.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just making the point, though, that listen, Tom Brady to me, and this, I'm not going to debate you on whether or not he had a good year.
You also love Tom Brady.
Right, so I see things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady had a really good year. Like I said, I don't remember him being awesome, like where I came out the next day and went, gosh, did you hear what Brady said?
But when you're
yesterday?
paying someone $35 million, isn't the expectation is he should be awesome?
I think the expectation is, as you point out, that he signed a long-term deal and everybody's going to utilize his fame to
But if he didn't say
advantage.
anything memorable, like, I don't think that's a great first
Well,
year. I would dispute that.
Did he say anything that was like really terrible?
Well, the first week was horrendous, as we discussed.
Yeah, I didn't think that either back then. But listen, here's the thing. It just really comes down to this. Do you think that Tom Brady, as a Fox broadcaster, is somehow getting some sort of unfair advantage and access to a guy that he might want to hire in his small role?
It's not the access. Because clearly we've defined already he has no access, because the league has basically said it will not allow that because of the perception of conflict of interest. What the conflict of interest here is, can he be objective about a guy he's openly courting?
Yeah, I think that, and that's why this particular Fox executive brought up, Kirk Herbstreit, because what he's saying is, hey, Kirk Herbstreit, he can be critical of Ohio State, and he's still going to call an Ohio State game.
Let's see it is what I would say.
Well, listen, Tom, if you're listening, and I know you live in L.A., and I know that you're probably driving around right now.
I feel like he lives in Miami now, doesn't he?
Well, listen, Tom, I'm going to assume
he's listening
you're in
on the
LA.
app?
I think it could be. Could be the ESPN LA app.
Yeah.
Tom, baby, listen to me, buddy. This weekend, if Jared Goff throws an interception, you blame Ben Johnson. Okay? If there's a fumble, you blame Ben Johnson.
Well,
if there's a sack, you blame
I
him.
don't think there's that. But how many times have we watched a game where you're like, wow, this game plan stinks, right? Like, and that is something that is said openly on a broadcast. Like, I don't understand what the idea was with that particular setup or this particular offense against, or formation against this particular defense. That type of stuff happens all the time. So I hope, and I would imagine he will be willing to be critical, but it is at least worthy of the discussion. I don't think it should be summarily dismissed like, oh my God, how dare you question his ability to be objective. Well, I mean, because it could cost him on the other end. Like, that's not a small part of the equation.
The notion of questioning guys' integrity, I was like, gosh, I didn't think we'd gotten to that. I just thought the question was like, hey,
is it questioning his integrity?
Well, that was part of the article. I mean, that was the whole thing about the article.
But I read it and I didn't get the sense of questioning his integrity. I got
they specifically used that phrase.
Yeah, I don't get the sense that anyone is actually questioning his integrity. I got the sense that isn't that what the Fox Sports executive was referring to?
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not what the author of the article was implying. The author of the article was implying objectivity.
Well, I think Tom Brady's going to be great. And by the way, if Tom Brady goes out and hires Ben Johnson, good for him. I personally do not think that Ben Johnson, an offensive coordinator for all these years, who has, he's got all the hot next guy around him. He's got that aura. He's going to be the next great guy. Good luck. I would say good luck to anybody. Listen, Tom Brady called Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick had already gone to North Carolina. The word was that Tom Brady calls Belichick and goes, hey, coach, would you like to talk about the Raiders job? And Belichick was like, no, I don't. And by the way, if Belichick was not employed by North Carolina, he still might have said, possibly, not really. I don't want to coach that dumpster fire. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. Whoever takes that job, they're only 32. Somebody's going to take it. Somebody's going to get paid a lot of money. But if you're Ben Johnson and you're waiting for the perfect opportunity, the Raiders could present the perfect opportunity if they give you the GM you want and they give you the time that you need. But otherwise, I mean, listen, there is no winning in the immediate future for the Raiders. Unless maybe Tom Brady decides to come back and play quarterback. Because then, George, he'll pass for 4,500 yards and maybe lead the Raiders to the Super Bowl. You know it.
Yeah, listen, I just don't think that there's this, like, there should be some outrage by anyone wondering, like, hey, can Tom be objective over a guy he's courting? Like, I don't think that's, like, a crazy notion.
Oh, no, I don't think it's crazy, but I think that's why Tom Brady now is going to be seeing all these media reports and going, I guess I better ramp it up here a little bit.
I don't think he has to ramp it up. I think he just needs to be fair. And I think that's what people are going to be. Now there's going to be more. Honestly, if you're Fox Sports, it's brilliant because there's going to be tons. I mean, not that there weren't going to be a ton of eyeballs on this game anyway, but there's going to be even more eyeballs on it because people are going to be watching more intently to see, is he going to be critical of Ben Johnson if it was necessary?
You know, you say be fair. You want to talk about being fair? How about being more than fair? How about being like ridiculously over the top generous and really caring about your community? Let me give a shout out to Victory Automotive Group and our friends at Ocean Subaru in Fullerton. George, this is such a beautiful gesture. They're donating 30 families. They're donating vehicles to 30 families that have been impacted by these devastating fires, the Eaton fire, just, in the last 2 weeks. The families, as you can imagine, homes gone, cars gone, all their worldly possessions, all their clothes, all the way down to their toothbrush, gone. They're all going to receive the gift of transportation as part of Victory's ongoing commitment to support those in need during this time of crisis. It's tomorrow at Ocean Subaru in Fullerton with Jeffrey Capo. He's the founder of Victory Automotive Group, and all these community leaders from the Women's Club of Fullerton. Shout out to Omar and everybody down at Ocean Subaru in Fullerton. Super grateful that you guys are doing this for these families. It's incredibly generous, but it's also community leadership. So shout out to all you guys. Thanks for what you're doing.
Yeah, Cappy, no doubt, man. Listen, everybody needs to kind of help one another in these times of need, and I think that the community has done a fantastic job of doing that, and that's just another perfect illustration of that. So for sure, great job.
I thought today, did you see Dodger Stadium today? Like, we had our social media team out there, and they were interviewing Dodger players, and I just saw an interview on social media where they were interviewing Aaron Donald, who was there. So just like, all the sports figures and the teams, the franchises, the individual players, everybody kind of showing up because they all want to be part of the recovery, and I think that's beautiful, man. And by the way, speaking of Aaron Donald, I think Parker Bell told us that Aaron Donald and Shady McCoy, two old college teammates together, that these two guys, I guess, went on Instagram Live earlier today, and I think they may have placed a $50,000 bet. Aaron Donald taking the Rams. Yeah, I think Aaron Donald taking the Rams and McCoy taking the Eagles.
Oh, it's shocking that Aaron Donald would take the Rams and McCoy would take the Eagles.
Well, that's what makes it a good bet.
Only way they can stop Saquon Barkley if you come back.
No, they got a bunch of young dogs. They got Verse, Frisk, B.Y., Kobe. I'm gonna say, like, did you see this performance? Did you see the primetime game? The world watched it. You see?
That be Sam Darnold.
Did you see what they did? Did you see the performance they put on?
Respectfully, dog.
Six sacks in the first half.
I seen that.
A defensive touchdown and a pick. A dominant performance. Ended the game with 9 sacks. They put on the show. So I'm riding with my dogs. I don't care what they keep saying. They ran for this. This is playoff ball. All that 200-yard rushing.
No, real quick. Everybody just name because I'm some good players. Did they play the first game or no?
What first game?
When the Eagles played the first time, did they play?
I ain't watched that game.
No. I'm saying the dudes you named. Did they play?
I don't know.
They played. They played.
Man, listen, he had a day. He had a day. He did his thing.
The people know.
He balled out.
So look, are we gonna make the bet we were talking about all week or not?
Let's bet it.
I got $100 grand on the Eagles. What you got? Oh no. Let's do 50 because we brothers. 50 on the Eagles. What you doing?
Come on, we'll do it. I'll match you. Let's go.
Bet. You got 50 on the Rams. I got 50 on the Birds.
I'm a match you, man. Cause I'm tired of hearing this.
Here we go.
Hey, look, he's on TV, sleeping on the Rams.
Wake me up.
Man, I'm tired of hearing all that, man.
So all the fans out there, $50,000 on the Eagles, and he got $50,000 on the Rams.
This is what we try and go get. This is what we try and go get. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear all that.
All right. So that's hilarious. I love it.
That sounded like you and me.
Yeah, except not 50,000. So there you go.
Right. How about 50 cents? You know?
Yeah. Cappy, let's get into those games here in just a second. But before that, because we're in our commercial-free zone here, let's talk about our friends at Prize Picks today. And here's the deal. Look, there's tons of basketball. There's hockey. There's all sorts of action going on right now. And obviously you can play these football games as well, too. Including the national championship, which is on Monday. So, and you'll hear that right here on 710 ESPN. So you got the Rams football game tomorrow here on 710 ESPN. You got the national championship game. You got Lakers basketball. We got everything for you here. But you can play all these things on Prize Picks as well. The only place you can get action in the state of California on sports. And look, man, you can win up to 1,000 times your money, which is wild on like 4 picks. So it is incredible. You can get your money quick, too, within 15 minutes. All you got to do is download the Prize Picks app, use the promo code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y, and you're ready to roll, Cap.
So for the national championship game on Monday, I just want to give everybody a heads up right now that Will Howard, the quarterback at Ohio State, George, his more or less passing yard number is 240.5 passing yards.
Ooh.
That's like one of those numbers where I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean,
well, the defenses are both very good defenses, like for sure. They're two of the top, 4 or 5 defenses. I mean, Ohio State's number 1 defense, but Notre Dame is pretty much top 5 or 6 in every category, too.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because Will Howard is a free square. So if Will Howard passes for more than half of a yard, that's an automatic win.
Oh, then there you go.
So Prize Picks is giving you a free square on Will Howard, the quarterback at Ohio State. So again, like you're saying, you got Lakers tonight. You got all 4 football games over 2 days on the weekend, and then you got the national championship game on Monday. Tons of opportunities to win. Download Prize Picks, use the code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y, make a $5 play, get a $50 bonus, and on Monday, let's load up our accounts, man. Let's win all weekend long, George.
Prize Picks, run your game. All right, give me some NFL music. Let's talk about these games now, all right? Let's take a look at these matchups in the divisional round. We'll go in order, okay, in regards to how they're going to play. The first game, Cappy, on ESPN and ABC, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, the Houston Texans, fresh off a win against the Los Angeles Chargers, taking on a fresh as daisies Kansas City Chiefs at home at Arrowhead, C.J. Stroud and company. The Chiefs are like 9-point favorites in this game, man. They are big, big, big favorites. Now, the Chiefs have not been great this year, Cappy, as favorites. They have not performed very well in those scenarios. But, I always am scared of, like, these games when the team has the bye because generally it doesn't bode well for the team traveling. And when you have, like, an 8.5, 9-point spread, that's, like, a lot, man, for sure. But the Chiefs have just not been this great team this year against the spread. They have been pretty bad. I want to say, if I look at their last 10, 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 10, 7-9 overall, 7-9-1 overall this season. So the Chiefs have a big number. They haven't covered very many this year. Like, what do you think of the game? Like, I think the Chiefs will win, but, the question people want to know is, do you think they'll cover?
Right. So I know I saw a stat earlier today that when the Chiefs have been favored by more than 6 points this year, they've never one time covered that spread.
Wow.
So here's the thing. I fully expect the Chiefs to win the game. They're home. They got their crowd. Yeah. There will be weather. Houston plays in a warm weather city, A, and B, they play indoors.
Yeah.
So I think the Chiefs win the game. But to your point about being fresh as a daisy, they've been off now, at least Patrick Mahomes and their top-level starters. Yeah. It's a total of 3 weeks by the time they get back on the field. I'm not telling you they're going to be rusty. I'm going to tell you that they're going to be well-rested and they're going to be healthy. But timing could be off. So I'll do this. I'll take the Texans to cover while I fully expect the Chiefs to win. How about you?
Yeah, I would say the same. I would agree with that. I do think, though, that this Chiefs team, they just have built this muscle memory, Cappy, in these late game scenarios that they're just not fazed by. They've been there so many times that there's really nothing that will make them, quiver at all.
Yeah,
right. Like
Because
they're built for these moments now.
Right. Here's like the prediction that won't shock anybody. It's like a 24-20 game. The Chiefs are up 24-20. Houston scores a touchdown, and you're like, okay, well, they left 2.5 minutes on the clock.
Right.
They're toast.
Too much time for Mahomes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just fully expect Mahomes to lead some sort of game-winning drive, and everybody expecting the exact same thing. Like, okay, just give the ball to Mahomes, and it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I think it's going to be one of those kind of scenarios. Then the next game that night on Saturday is going to be on Fox. It'll be the game that Tom Brady will be doing with Kevin Burkhardt.
With a very critical eye, by the way.
I hope so. Discerning, at the very least. 9.5-point favorites, another big favorite for the Detroit Lions coming off a bye. They're not playing the Minnesota Vikings like Dan Campbell thought. This Washington team, though, Cappy, they're frisky, man. I actually think this one, like, if I was going to take an underdog, I may take Washington in this scenario. I think this is going to be closer than people think. I think most people think the Lions are going to go out there and blow the doors off of them. Dan Quinn is a really good defensive coach. He's been deep in the playoffs. Hell, he coached in a Super Bowl as a head coach before, okay? Mm-hmm. So we all know that infamous 28-3 loss, right? That they were up and then they lost. Jaden Daniels is playing like well beyond his years, and they've got good running backs, good skill position guys, good defense. Like, I think they can hang. I don't think they're going to win, but I think they can hang.
I tend to agree that when you're traveling in the playoffs, it's really hard to win, but we're talking about 9.5 points here. And the one thing we've seen with Washington this year is that Jaden Daniels came into this league and honestly, as a rookie, has kind of taken it by storm. Because not only can he throw the ball, he's obviously a great runner. He keeps plays alive longer, and he's clutch. We all saw the Hail Mary earlier this season. I mean, the guy is just a kid who, I don't know if he doesn't know any better that he's playing with the big boys or what. But here's the thing. I fully expect Detroit to win the game. They're at home. They're on a mission. Washington is young. They're up and coming. But 9.5 points is too much for me to lay. I'll take Washington to cover with the expectation that Detroit wins the game.
All right, next we've got the Rams game. So the Rams game is on NBC. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth in that particular game. We've laid this out. For the Rams to win, Cappy, I think a lot of things need to go right for them, and things need to go wrong for the Eagles. The Eagles are the better roster. They have the better team on the lines of scrimmage, and to me, that's where you win this time of year. I like the Eagles to win, and I think that they can cover the 6 points. I got to be honest with you.
Okay, so I'm going to go Homer pick here. Okay, I'm going to put that out there for
I hope
everybody.
I'm wrong, by the way, because I certainly want the Rams to. Because you know my rule on this. I root for us, and for us, it would be great if the Rams have this magical run to the Super Bowl, or at the very least to the NFC Championship game. So I'm rooting against my pick, but my heart says Rams, my mind says Eagles.
See, I'm going to root with my heart, and so I'm going to pick with my heart. Because I don't want to being right is not important to me. The Rams winning is more important to me than me being right, okay? Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say. Listen, everything you said is right. Eagles have a better offensive line. Eagles have a better defensive line. Eagles should have a ton of confidence based on the way they ham-slammed the Rams in Week 12, okay? Everything says Eagles. They're home. We talked about hostile environment. We talked about short week. We talked about West Coast to East Coast travel. Everything is in the Eagles' advantage, including what's going to be snow starting at 2:30 for a 3 o'clock kickoff. Everything says Eagles, except one thing.
What?
You know what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
The human spirit.
There it is.
The human spirit, ladies and gentlemen. Those two little letters, W-E-We, those two little letters, U-S-Us, they're powerful. Powerful, as my man Marty Schottenheimer would say. This is a game about the human will. I'm getting goosebumps, and I'm talking myself into believing what I'm saying. The Rams on the road shock the world, pull the win, and put L.A. on their back. I'm taking the Rams.
Okay, there you go. All right, next and the last game, the game of the weekend, in my opinion. Would you agree? Buffalo and Baltimore?
This is Indianapolis,
CBS,
New
Jim
England.
Nantz, Tony Romo. Yeah.
Right.
So this is going to be a 3:30 kick on Sunday here in L.A., and the Ravens are 1.5-point favorites on the road.
I know, shocking to me.
But I don't think it's that shocking. Like, I think the Ravens are the better team. They were one fumble away last year at the goal line from beating the Chiefs at home last year. They also lost to them earlier this year. The Bills have actually had what I would deem, I think, at least, just off glance, right, in retrospect, have had an easier time this season in regards to their scheduling and things of that nature. The Ravens have had to kind of survive here and there, and they've gotten better as the season has gone on and have become a dominant team by the end of this particular season. I think the Ravens are going to Buffalo. They are winning that game, and we're going to get another Lamar, Patrick Mahomes rematch because the Ravens, I just think they're just the overall better team. I also think they have the better coach in Harbaugh, too. So I like the Ravens to win. Not big. I think it's going to be a very tight game, but they pull it out in the end.
Georgia,
which, by the way, has been a struggle for them. Late game execution historically over the last 5 years in tight games has not been their forte.
I don't know if this is going to surprise you or not, but believe it or not, I agree with everything you said. I think that I would take Lamar over Josh Allen, and both have had spectacular years. So the margin between the two of them is 1.5 points, like what the line is. I'm a little surprised that the Ravens are favored just because they're the road team. But regardless, I agree. I think John Harbaugh is one of the true premier coaches in the NFL. I mean, literally right behind Andy Reid. I think John Harbaugh is a guy who prepares his team not just on the offensive side, but mostly in the kicking game. I think that's where this game might be won. Could be a return, could be a blocked kick. I just think that something happens in the kicking game that advantage goes to Baltimore. I think Baltimore goes into Buffalo. I think it's a super tight game, but I'm going to take the Ravens to pull, not the upset because they are favored, but to pull the road win. I got Baltimore like you got Baltimore. I'm surprised we both have the same, but there it is. I like Baltimore.
I think our only difference is the Rams and Eagles. Yeah. And it's just because I can't, like you said, that you would rather have your heart, win out than your brain, and I'm definitely not that.
Yeah, I'm not really so consumed with being right. I'm more consumed with the Rams doing something that I really want them to do.
I would love it. I certainly would be consumed with it as well. I'm going to openly be rooting for them. I want myself to be wrong. I just don't think I'm going to be wrong. So sorry.
I feel you, brother.
Yeah. All right, Cappy, that is 30 minutes commercial free like we do every day from 5 to 5:30. Coming up next, we got Big Deal or No Deal. We'll take you up till 6 o'clock. Lakers basketball coming up after that with Beto, Michael. I guess John is going to do some 80s trivia, I think, with Trudell because he doesn't believe Trudell knows anything about the 80s and 90s. So that's going to come up during the pregame, too. Because let's be honest, the game's not going to be that competitive. But nonetheless, make sure you tune in for that. All right. Real quick, though, Cappy, I got to tell you about my home away from home, LAX, where changes are arriving daily to reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the traveler experience. The LAX economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding. Who doesn't want to get to their flight faster? And a new facility will have all major rental car brands under one roof, so when your friends and family come to visit, they'll be able to go to this beautiful new facility. And in the future, if you're local, you don't even need a car to get to LAX, because the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. Yep, you can take the Metro to the Century Station right outside of LAX, and then from there, the People Mover train will take you right to your terminal. So for more information, check out their website, flylax.com for more information. That's flylax.com.
Mason and Ireland.
You guys are so immature.
I mean, does it not sound
way more mature than you guys?
The biggest show on the radio, weekdays at noon.
On 710 ESPN.
You never expect a Hail Mary pass to win and end the game or getting into an accident. Hey, it's Trav with DeMarco.
Only one all-star defense team you can call to defend you. The personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000.
Don't get sacked by others. Joseph will help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000.
Let Joseph and his team score a touchdown for you.
Hey guys, it's Cappy, and if you want to sell your home, call Seller's Advantage. Let me say it again. It's real simple. If you're ready to sell, call Seller's Advantage. Everybody has different reasons for selling. Some people want to downsize and they're ready to move. Some have inherited property, and you know what? They don't want to have that property. They want to get rid of it. Or maybe Maybe you're just ready for a change in your life. Whatever your reason is for selling, Seller's Advantage has a custom solution for your needs. They'll make you a competitive cash offer with no repairs needed, and they can close in days. Seller's Advantage is the fastest and the most stress-free way to sell your home. No complicated closing process or contracts falling through. Seller's Advantage has been making sellers happy for decades, and they've got all the reviews to prove it. So call them today and get a no-obligation offer at 888-390-AS-IS. 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, or sellersadvantage.com.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
NextGen is the official plumbing, heating, and AC company of SoCal sports fans. Right now, ESPN LA listeners can book a drain cleaning for just $88. That's right, just $88, and you can keep your plumbing in top shape and ensure you're game day ready. So don't miss out. Call 833-3NEXTGEN today to take advantage of this limited time offer. That's 833-3NEXGEN, or visit nextgenaironplumbing.com to schedule your $88 drain cleaning appointment today.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
This is Sedano and Kap for your afternoon drive.
How is that related?
On 710 ESPN.
All right, Cappy, big deal or no deal coming up. But real quick, can you tell us about what your friend Avner Gat is doing for the community?
Yeah, I just want to make a quick mention here for Avner. You've probably seen some videos that I've put out on Instagram. And I just want to say to everybody that for as long as we've been doing, promotional spots for Avner Gat, we've talked about fire damage, water damage, theft. Of course, we had no idea that it was going to be as devastating as it was here in the last couple of weeks. If you or somebody in your family or a close friend is facing fire damage, just know this, that you may have paid your homeowner's insurance all that time, and now your homeowner's insurance may try and, undercut a little bit. They may try and say, hey, we don't want to pay for this or we don't want to pay for that. Do not let your insurance company off the hook. Don't let them underpay you. In fact, I wouldn't even deal with your insurance company. I'd let Avner Gat handle it. He is California's premier public adjusting firm. Visit avnergat.com, AVNERGAT, avnergat.com. You can call him directly, 818-917-5256, 818-917-5256. You can visit him online, avnergat.com. You call, he'll answer. Your claim, our game, Avner Gat. Let him handle it so that you can deal with all the other stuff that you got going on in the aftermath. How's that?
Excellent, Cappy. Excellent stuff from Avner and everyone helping out and pitching in and doing their best. We certainly appreciate it for sure. All right, Greg, what do you got?
All right, so on December 27th of last year, Victor Wembanyama was playing the Brooklyn Nets. After the game, he signed a jersey for a little girl. Well, yesterday, that jersey went up for auction. NBA Central found it, and Wemby quote tweeted it with a crying emoji. Is this a big deal or no deal?
It was a little girl?
A little girl. He signed it for a little girl. They jersey swapped, did the whole thing, and then that jersey that Wemby signed for the little girl is now on up for auction.
Did that little girl give Wemby her jersey when you say a jersey swap?
So she was wearing a Spurs jersey, a little small little girl, like 4 or 5 years old, and gave that to Wemby. Wemby has it. The jersey that he was wearing, the little girl got, and then the parents put it up for auction.
So basically some dude, right, who wanted to sell it, used his kid to pawn, to make, they made a sign that said Victor Wembanyama, Victor Wembanyama, will you swap jerseys with me? And he saw it, and he did it, and they used the kid to be able to get the jersey so they can sell it. Yeah, It's pretty whack.
It's why, when like ball players show up in a team hotel and you've got like grown men standing there with 8x10 glossies or like cards, the players don't want to sign stuff for grown-ups in particular because they're like, oh, you just look like somebody who's going to be here to get it and then sell it. And then to your point, George, a lot of times these guys will, use kids. Oh, sympathetic. Oh, little kid. I'm going to sign for that little kid. The only question I have is how do you authenticate that? I mean, I'm sure there's photographs and videos, but like there's no like authentication per se, right?
I don't know.
Does that matter?
I don't know
Does
enough
anybody
about
know
that
anything
world.
about?
I'm assuming there is, but I don't know enough about that world to really.
The only reason I ask is because I was recently going through some old sports memorabilia that I have. I've got a closet full of crap, right?
Yeah.
One thing I found I found a Tony Gwynn bat the year that Tony Gwynn hit 394.
Yeah.
I found this bat that's signed by Tony Gwynn, and
Well,
I
you
know
could get it authenticated by someone in like that industry. Then
Okay,
I'm sure they'd be able to easily do it for you.
because that bat there were
Dude,
only
that could
three-
have paid for one of your kids' college or something.
Well, you know what, George? There's only 394 of those bats. They made
well,
three.
yeah.
So I've got number 175 or whatever, and I guess I got to learn how to authenticate it. So is it a big deal? Not really. It's just kind of sleazy.
It is sleazy, especially using the kid.
It is very sleazy. And by the way, Cappy, go on Pawn Stars. They can get someone down there right away, and then they can tell you if it's real or not.
Pawn Stars?
Pawn
Yeah,
Stars.
make sure you spell that correctly.
PAWN.
Oh.
All right, anyway. Movies 30 years later are all over the place now. The Mask was a phenomenal movie back in the day when it came out, and Jim Carrey said that a sequel could be in the works a few weeks ago. Cameron Diaz was just asked about it the other day and said that she would be in on doing The Mask 2 as long as the scripts are good. Should they make a Mask 2?
It is so funny that you just said that, and it's a good thing you mentioned Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz, because when you said The Mask, I thought you were talking about the Cher movie with the guy with the with the catcher's mitt for a glove, for a face. You know what I'm saying?
Man, come on,
You know?
man.
Come on.
Well, I mean,
That's
that's the
based
way
off
they
a
made
true
it look.
story,
I know,
dude.
but that's what the way they made it look with the makeup in the movie. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do the makeup in the movie. So, as far as should they make a Mask 2, I'm going to go with negative on that. We don't need it.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't. The original one is awesome. Like, there's no need for it.
Yeah, no need for it at all. All right.
That was the name of the other movie, wasn't it? The
It
Cher
was.
movie?
Yes.
Oh, Cappy,
Mask.
Cappy. Always one step. All right, Anthony Edwards isn't holding back. He said this after a loss to the Warriors the other night. The starting five, we are terrible. Every game we come out low energy, and the second group comes in and gives us energy. I would say the starting group got to come out with more energy, like we want to play the game of basketball, like we love the game. Is this a big deal, Sedano, or no deal?
It is a big deal because it's not the first time he's said it. It's actually, he's done some semblance of this multiple times already this season. They made a huge mistake, and I understand why they did it. Glenn Taylor, the owner of that team, after and in what's still, I believe, some level of litigation with ownership, but he's the controlling owner, and he traded Karl Anthony Towns because he didn't want to be over the second apron, and the team has not played well because Julius Randle is just not at the level of Karl Anthony Towns, and Dante DiVincenzo is a nice player, but even those two don't equal what Karl Anthony Towns is capable of doing.
I'd say it's a big deal for this reason. You know what I like about Anthony Edwards is that he's not
honest?
Well, that, and he's not remotely bashful for a young guy. Like some young guys are like, okay, you know what, I won't say this, or I won't be so honest and candid. But he understands, I think, already how much of a big superstar he is and a leader, and he's going to put it out there for everybody. So I like it. I don't know that I'd call it a big deal, but I also don't think I'd call it a small deal. It's a medium well deal.
Well, I think it's a pretty big deal because he's now done it multiple times. Like, this is no longer a small thing.
Yeah, he's calling out his teammates pretty consistently now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
the Ant-Man.
The Ant-Man.
Love the Ant-Man.
All right.
I tried to get Mateo some Ant-Man shoes, but like the ones he was wearing the other night, the acid red as they call them, they're sold out of the kids' shoes. It's crazy. Kids love Ant-Man.
Now, in that game that you did, that Golden State Minnesota game, who was the post-game interview? Who did you have after the game?
It was Steph.
Okay, and you didn't wear any Steph Curry shoes?
I don't wear Under Armour.
But I told you to wear I told you to show up.
I don't wear
with
Under Armour shoes. I
Why?
don't
What's
like the way they fit.
Oh, come on, man. It's not about fit.
It's
about it's about making sure.
You know what I had? White Air Force Ones on.
Yeah, but it's about making sure that the player, after the game, sees you wearing his shoes and then compliments your shoes.
It's okay.
I told you I'll get the deal done for you. I told you you'll show up with 12 pairs of shoes. You'll know. I don't know who's going to be the post-game interview.
What's next, Greg?
Come on, George.
All right, Cappy, we'll start with you on
better.
this one. Come on, Cappy. All right, so Boomer Esiason was on WFAN where he does his show that by 2029, the NFL will have a 4-team division in Europe. Would this be a big deal or no deal, Cappy?
A 4-team division in Europe?
In Europe, yes.
That's Boomer's, like, is he saying that's happening?
Theory,
or is
his theory. Yes.
Is that is going to happen by 2029.
I can buy that. I think you could have a team in London. You could have a team in Germany, maybe 2 in Germany. Aren't they doing another game next year? Like the Dolphins are hosting a game in
Spain. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, listen, I used to love the NFL Europe. I loved it, man. Barcelona, London, Dusseldorf, Frankfurt, Amsterdam.
The Rhine Fire.
Yeah, I believe that there could be a 4-team division in Europe. And would that be a big deal? Yeah, it'd be a really big deal.
It would be a big deal. I just don't think it's like, I don't think it can actually make it work. But that could be me. I could be wrong. But I just don't think American football is. We sit here, we watch these, couple of one-offs here and there. Like they're not. That's not a 17-game season. You know what I mean? That's not 8 or 9 dates. Like it's a little different, is what I would say.
Oh, I would agree with you, but can we at least acknowledge that the NFL has been trying to cultivate fans for so long in Europe that at some point, I mean, I'm not saying it's definitive. I'm just saying at some point that's maybe
I think
part
the
of the
NBA
plan.
has a better chance of doing that if they wanted to, because basketball is more global than the National Football League.
Well, did you see that Maverick Carter is trying to put together a
separate league,
a separate league, yeah,
an international league, yes, like
for the
basically
NBA
like
and WNBA,
right? It's like a UEFA cup kind of situation in soccer, very similar, yes.
All right, is that it, or do you want to do one more?
I mean, I don't know. You got time?
It is Friday. What the hell?
It's Friday.
Oh, God. Mason plays that every single week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right, so I have finished doing my taxes. I finished them all the way up.
Good for
and
you.
I sent them in already.
What do you mean by that?
Wait, you got your W-2, all that stuff all lined up already?
Got my W-2. It's already in there.
You already can download it from the website? I thought you got to wait till like the 31st or something.
No, Inside
Wait a
Disney.
second.
Got it. Yep.
Wait a second. What do you mean you did your taxes?
I do it on TurboTax.
You yourself?
No, I don't do that. I did it. I used to do it back in the day. I have an account.
Well, think about it. You guys own homes and all these other things. I don't have anything else. All
right.
I have is
all
me.
the more reason to let somebody else do it for you.
Well, no, because it's so simple for me to do myself on TurboTax.
I would
have
never,
one W-2 and nothing else.
Never in a million years. Even if I was what you say, yours is very simple. You don't
Very
own a
simple.
home. Okay, let me tell you something right now. I would never even attempt to do this. I would screw this up
it's
in 2
pretty
seconds.
easy. It is easy on TurboTax. Like I when I was much younger, I did it on TurboTax. It's
I
very
would
easy.
never do it. Never.
Since not having anything, doing it on TurboTax, it takes less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah,
get
it's very fast.
Yeah, especially when you actually get money back.
Hence TurboTax.
Yes, exactly. So I've already done this. What type of person
I
are
have
you?
not. I usually get them done in February. That's kind of my, usually when I've always done them. So yeah, I actually, it's funny. I was going to call my accountant today and make the appointment, but I forgot. So maybe I'll shoot her an email.
Okay, so you're early. What about you, Cappy? How do you wait till the last second?
Oh, I'm an extension guy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I'm an
also
extension
not a shock now that I think about it. Yeah.
Well,
in
the
retrospect.
reason is because, it's a little more complicated.
Well, you got a business.
Yeah, and so like
a business. Doesn't Rachel do your taxes?
No, because Rachel's not she is a CPA, but she is not a tax accountant. She's a business accountant.
Got it.
So for me,
But she
it's
can't set you up and get you ready. You know?
No, of course she can. As a matter of fact,
the
that's
books. Yeah.
well, right. I mean, everything we do now is on QuickBooks, and so she's able to then take that and hand it off to the tax accountant. But it is a little more complicated because when you're a W-2 employee like I am for Disney, that's pretty straightforward.
Right.
But when you also own a business,
right,
then there's a lot that offsets one from the other.
Right.
So it's I don't know, for whatever reason my accountant is just always like, hey, let's just do the extension. It's been like that for a long time, as far as I know.
Well, you know why? 'Cause he's probably busy, and he's like, your stuff is so complicated because you're just a complicated type of individual that I just need more time.
I would argue that it's two things. One, you're complicated, and two, these other guys is a lot bigger deal. Yours is nothing. I got no time for you, buddy. All right?
Well,
Yours is like little peanuts.
That could be fair. Hey, guys, you've heard us last couple days talking about how you can help the community in times of need, and we're certainly in that with the California wildfires. The Red Cross needs your help, man. So donate at redcross.org/ESPN. That's redcross.org/ESPN. All right, Cappy, we got a break. We got one more segment to go. Dealer's Choice is up next.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and there's extensive water damage. This is when it can feel as though your relationship with your insurance has become an abusive one. They don't agree that you need a replacement living arrangement, despite it being glaringly obvious. Then, the insurance adjuster leaves you hanging. You feel abandoned with a home that is no longer livable, and you now have no other choice than to use the insurance contractor to make repairs, which includes their brazen attempt at lowballing the estimate. Okay, so here's what you do. You take a deep breath, then you call Avner Gat. They're one of California's largest public adjusting firms, and trust me, size does matter in this case because Avner Gat has experienced it all. Insurance companies can make you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope in getting your home back together. Avner Gat knows exactly how to handle these situations. Not only do they have extensive knowledge on how to handle your dilemma, but they remain passionate about helping people. It's why Avner and his family continue to take the calls themselves at Avner Gat Inc. They cover all of Southern California, and if I haven't convinced you with all of these truth bombs thus far, just check out what seems to be a never-ending stream of 5-star reviews on Yelp, Google, and the Better Business Bureau. So, whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is at home, call Avner Gat today. 818-917-5256. That's 818-917-5256. And you can go online to avnergat.com.
Happy New Year from Kia of Carson. We're celebrating the new year with deals on all your favorite 2025 Kia models. Just go to KiaofCarson.com and check out our specials on the award-winning Telluride, hybrids, EVs, and plug-ins. The deals don't stop there. You can save on the entire Kia lineup, including our huge inventory of Kia-certified used cars. Kia of Carson has won numerous awards for customer service, so we know how to make the process easy and enjoyable. Hurry into Kia of Carson for the best selection.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Our steamed vegetables and signature salads are made fresh for you. Our sauces are more flavorful for you. From sweet and spicy to fiery hot. Right now, get our Value Bowl combo for only $8.99. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
All right, final segment of the program. We'll take you up to Lakers pregame. Beto Duran, Michael Thompson, and they're going to do some trivia quiz. Ireland is going to quiz Trudell on 80s and 90s trivia. So stick around for that, Jack.
Wow,
Cappy.
my boy Omar here went into the Circle of Trust and put in a picture of the dude Roki, I think that was his name, in that movie Mask with Cher.
Yes.
You know, and he put in a full-on picture of this guy. God, that movie just made me so like sad. You know?
Yeah, it's a sad movie. That's kind
really
of the point
is.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I got the Jim Carrey The Mask confused with the Cher movie Mask.
Correct.
I got the two confused. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Cappy. It is time for Dealer's Choice. You got about 5 minutes. Let it rip.
Dealer's Choice. This is beautiful, man. I love Dealer's Choice. One of my favorite parts of the show. Today's Dealer's Choice is brought to us by the Seller's Advantage. You want to sell your house? Before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They'll buy it as is with a competitive cash offer. No repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS for a no-obligation offer or go to sellersadvantage.com. Okay, so I don't really follow the news. Meaning, like, I obviously know what has been going on in our town over the course of the last 2 weeks, right? But I don't really follow the news that much. I will admit that during like the presidential election, I found myself watching more news, but generally speaking, I don't know what's going on in the world. If you want to have a conversation about the Lakers playing against against Brooklyn, okay, we can have that conversation. If you want to talk to me about the Eagles hosting the Rams, I'm your guy. Okay, but if you want to talk to me about anything having to do with the news itself, what's going on with the inauguration on Monday, who's going into what role, I don't know nothing, man. But today I keep seeing these headlines that TikTok is about to be banned. Now, I just want to say this. If you ask me what's your order of social media platforms, it goes like this. I started Instagram. I go to Twitter. I'll hit up a little Facebook. You know I love LinkedIn. And by the way, every time I mention LinkedIn, I get a ton of connection requests from all of our great listeners, George, all throughout Southern California. We got no business together. We got nothing that we got to do business on, but we're connecting on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. But I just a few months ago started getting into TikTok. I'm not dancing on TikTok. I'm not editing videos and putting out really well-produced stuff on TikTok. I'm doing middle-aged TikToking.
Right.
Meaning, I'll shoot the video and post the video. It's that simple on TikTok. But what I feel stupid about is I just kind of got into it. I was just starting to say, you know what? I'm doing completely different stuff on TikTok than I do on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm doing exclusive content on TikTok.
Oh, no.
So just when I'm getting going,
Right.
just when I'm starting to produce some decent content, just
Yeah.
when I'm picking up a ton of followers on TikTok, it's getting banned.
Yeah, see you later.
So,
This is why I never really got started on TikTok, because I felt like this was always a possibility.
I never really considered it. I mean, people are, oh, they're going to ban TikTok. I'm like, no, they're not. I guess now they are.
I mean,
Although
it's possible.
I mean, now there's, I mean, all the news cycle is saying TikTok is about to be banned in the United States. And I actually saw today a news report, and they said, here are 5 alternatives to TikTok. And these were 5 platforms. I've never heard of any of them. I'm like, bro, listen, if they get rid of TikTok, I'm going to stop TikToking, and I'm just going to go back to Instagramming. Or I'll go back to LinkedIning. I don't need to go to Lemon or Fan something. I don't need to go to any of these platforms. I can live without TikTok.
They're saying it's Red Note or Lemon 8. It's
Yeah, I've heard
all
of-
owned by basically the same company too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Lemon 8 is for sure.
Does anybody else here do any TikToking?
I just like scroll every once in a while.
I'm telling you, my TikTok feed was actually kind of looking somewhat good. You know, I mean, although I will admit this, the last time I TikToked was New Year's Eve. I TikToked a video of Yachtly Crew counting down the clock to New Year's. So that was it. And prior to that, I had done some video about this botanical garden that I had gone to through the holidays.
Oh,
Prior to
that's nice.
that, I had done this really nice yacht trip that I was on down in San Diego. Prior to that, I was at the game with the Patriots.
Or we could just go to your TikTok and see it.
Well, you know what? You could, but you
Before
better
it gets
hurry up.
banned.
You better hurry up is
Right.
my point, okay? So I'm looking to collect as many TikTok followers as I can between now and the ban. Do you follow me on TikTok, George?
I don't know.
Well, you should.
I'm not really on it that often, so
I got
don't know.
13 new followers today.
Look at that. Good job. 13 followers. Great job, Brian Cohen, Greg Bergman. Thank you so much for sitting
Appreciate
in
you
today.
guys.
We appreciate it. Cappy, excellent work as always.
Not bad. Pretty decent day.
Thanks to Michael Trudell and Beto Duran, who joined us earlier. And speaking of Beto, he's coming up now with the Lakers pregame show, Lakers Nets. Beto, Michael, John, Trudell will be on there. Everybody will be on there. You guys have a great weekend. Stay safe.